No place like home at the corner of 20th and Blake. Coors Field, where the Rockies started this homestand off in fashion last night as they took Game 1 against the Milwaukee Brewers. They'll look for more of the same this evening. Hello, everybody. Jack Corrigan from 850 KOA Radio, sitting in for Drew Goodman this weekend, along with George Frazier. George, the baseball axiom is pitch it and pick it, and you got a chance to win. Well, the Rockies have been pitching it, and they certainly can pick it with the leather. Man, those 9 shutouts, imagine that, a team record. You're not even halfway through the season. Well, you got to have good defense behind you, and the Rockies have that. When Tulowitzki's healthy, and when he's not. Last night, this double play turned on Prince deep into the hole. Herrera, shortstop arm to another shortstop arm. They're able to flip it and make the double play ball, and then Clint Barmas goes over to the hole. Slight bobble, then a rocket to first. You're able to get the out. I think when you look at these things, it's from corner to corner. Everywhere you look, there's defense throughout this infield. Stewart was able to do it and preserve that shutout. Well, and the key for the Rockies in that regard, if you're not going to score as much, make sure you limit the opposition. You have to. You've got to be able to cut down mistakes. You talk to scouts that come in now, they say, what's the key? Pitching staff's throwing strikes, they put the ball in play, and oh, they catch it. They are catching it indeed. Jeff Francis hopes to be the beneficiary of that good, solid defense behind him. We'll get an update on the big lefty when we return right after this. Rockies hope nothing is going to rain on their parade this evening as they look to make it 2 in a row against the Brewers behind Jeff Francis. Welcome back, everybody. And George, we had great pitching really from both sides last night. Should get the same this evening with Jeff Francis on a pretty good run. Yovani Gallardo very strong for the Brewers. What do you expect out of Jeff tonight? Well, I think he's going to have to utilize what he has in his previous starts, Jack. I think he's going to have to utilize the changeup. He's going to have to utilize the good breaking ball when he's behind in counts, get them to reach and chase. It'll allow his defense to do the work for him, and I think this is something
against Milwaukee that'll work into his favor. And the reason I say that is Jeff has such confidence and command of the fastball to both sides of the plate, yet he's got very good command of the breaking ball to both sides of the plate. And when you have that, it's a great combination. He doesn't walk a lot of people. Is he the same Francis at 93? No. But he's a much more smarter Jeff Francis, if you can imagine that.
That is pretty hard to imagine, Jeff being smarter than that. Yovani Gallardo, a very talented young pitcher for the Brewers. He is the cornerstone of their rotation. To get more on Mr. Gallardo, we'll bring in the next member of our team, Mark Stout.
Well, thank you, Jack. Ironically, this will be the second start for Gallardo here at Coors Field. His first start was back on August the 8th of 2007. Guess who he went against? Jeff Francis, and it was a disaster. His worst outing to date. He gave up a career-high 11 runs on 12 hits in 2 2/3 innings. Ryan Spilborgh's Brad Hopp home runs that day. They hit 3 and 4 on this day. Jeff Francis ended up getting his 13th win of 2007 in that start when the Rockies tied a club record with 11 extra base hits, 23 hits in all. They won the game 19-4. Jack, I don't know if that's going to happen again, but we hope that Jeff Francis can get his 3rd win of this season facing Gallardo again here tonight.
That sounds like a good plan indeed, Mark. The Rockies and the Milwaukee Brewers. The Rockies have dominated Milwaukee here at Coors Field of late. They look for more of the same this evening. Today and by the Ford Fusion. It's the 2010 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Ford Fusion. Drive one. Before the game, manager Jim Tracy was there to present back-to-back Pitcher of the Month awards to Ubaldo Jimenez. Been a long time since a guy's gone back-to-back with the Pitcher of the Month awards, but if anybody deserved it, it's Ubaldo. He's been nearly flawless. Kenny Maka hoping to stay for the full 9 innings tonight, and pretty much the same lineup with just one change. Ricky Weeks will lead it off. The Southwest Airlines batting orders. Weeks, Hart, Prince Fielder's going to hit 3rd, and Ryan Braun's going to hit 4th. Fielder has been scuffling of late. Otherwise, the lineup the same. McGee, Lucroy, Gomez, and Escobar ahead of Yovani Gallardo.
Let's take a look at the scouting report on Mr. Francis. You'll see a fastball 86-91 with movement. from both sides of the plate, the curve, slider, and changeup. Changeup has become his ground ball pitch. And for Francis, he loves pitching in this ballpark. 29 and 21 at Coors Field overall, an earned run average, second best all time in this ballpark at 4.44.
We talked about the Rockies defense last night. A little change tonight. Melvin Morris making his first start in forever in the outfield with Spilborghs and Hops. Same alignment on the infield. And Miguel Olivo will again be behind the plate. First pitch brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space in your name to 95323. You'll receive your Domino's special offer and be entered to win a pizza party for 15. One weekly winner will be chosen. So Jeff Francis looking to continue a run of excellent pitching by the Rockies. And he'll start the game off with a ball outside. You can go back to the game on Wednesday, even though it was a Rockies loss in Minnesota. The offense has had its moments, but the pitching has been superb. 3 runs allowed in the last 3 games.
And a lot of that has to do with where they're throwing the baseball, getting ahead in the count. Jeff had done very well while working ahead. He's behind to weeks 2-0. The opposition's hit a .143 when he's worked ahead in counts.
Larry Vanover, the veteran umpire, calls strike 1 on that pitch. You'll have the crew chief Jeff Kellogg over at first base, Jeff Nelson at second, Mark Carlson at third. Stewart in front of that hot shot. 1 down.
Well, let's take a look at the Suzuki keys to this ball game. I think there's some legitimate things to look at. The defensive side of things, as it was last night, Gallardo at Coors Field. We'll get into that a little bit more, but he gave up 11 runs in his one start here at Coors Field. I think the bullpens will play a role, particularly that 8th to 9th inning, as the managers start to shuffle the bench and the bullpen.
Right-handed outfielder Corey Hart will look at a strike from Jeff Francis.
Now, Jeff's ability to throw the changeup when behind in the count. You'll see a lot of balls hit hard, but they'll be to the left side of the infield and on the ground.
Corey Hart, who had a hit last night, gets the first hit of the night for the Brewers. Milwaukee shut out last night, even though the Rockies pitching staff allowed 10 hits.
Able to minimize the damage, working on double play, strikeouts when you need them.
Who wants tacos? Fans, remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 p.m. Get your Rockies taco special. Feed your Rockies fever. Only at Taco Bell. Well, the change in the lineup. Prince Fielder hitting third, and the left-handed batter will watch the first one sail out of the strike zone. Prince had a double last night, but in a tough stretch for him. Batting average you see there, and it has shrunk a little bit of late.
Well, left-handers he's hit 272, right-handers 255. Not as many at-bats. Almost doubled the at-bats versus right-handers. 165 versus 81.
Jeff Francis falls behind 2-0 like he did to Weeks. Rockies shifting somewhat on the infield. You see Clint Barmas up there close to second base. And maybe perhaps George Fielder in the 3-hole just for this reason. He tends at times to be a little more patient than Braun in terms of drawing walks.
Well, I think he is a little bit more patient. I think, too, it helps him to benefit to have that type of hitter behind him. Maybe get more fastballs than he would normally see hitting in front of him.
Good location there by Jeff, not giving in on 3-0.
Down and in on the inner half of the plate. Yesterday, Prince was able to take that breaking ball and jerk it down the right field line for a double from Beimel, but it hung in the zone. That was a fastball.
Short lead for Hart. Not going, and there's strike 2.
Well, you read all the scouting reports as hitters. And Dale Swain, their hitting coach. What do pitchers do behind in counts? Are they an off-speed guy? Are they going to try to challenge you with a fastball? Will they come inside? Will they go away? Francis appeared to be looking for a breaking ball on a 3-1 count.
Francis with a long pause. Hart's not going, and this could be two. Herrera to Barmes to hit. Just keep turning two for the price of one. The Rockies D stands tall in the first inning. 81 times they've done it this year. They're ready to hit now. The Brewers, Johnny Herrera, part of an inning-ending double play. He's going to lead off the lineup tonight for manager Jim Tracy. Helton, Spilborghs, and Hopp in the same spots. Melvin Mora gets the start in left field. Brad Hopp was the big hitter last night. Then Stewart, Olivo, and Barmes ahead of Jeff Francis.
Gallardo's last start game against Texas, he had 4 earned runs in 6 innings. The previous 3 he dominated. 2-0 with an 0.39 earned run average, just 1 earned run in 23 innings.
And the switch hitter Herrera will be the first man he sees and gets that initial strike. 2 for 18 from this side of the plate, make it 3 for 19 as Johnny starts things off well for the Rockies.
Taking it right back up the middle. That's what you got to do against Gallardo. He's a guy that likes to sink the ball to both sides of the plate. Try to get the ball on the ground. Here it's fastball 89. He will touch 94 when he needs a little extra. The curveball, slider, changeup. He typically lives off of those secondary pitches. They're all plus for him and with plus command. 4-0 out on the road this year with a 256 earned run average, and the opposition's hit just 215 away from Miller Park.
Gets a first pitch strike into Todd Helton. Todd hitless in last night's ball game, but going better since moving into the 2 spot. Tough night last night against a good lefty in Manny Parra.
Parra did a nice job controlling his game too, particularly after giving up 4 hits in the first 2 innings. The Rockies only managed 2 hits the rest of the way. 9 for 33 with 6 runs. A home run, an average of 273 for Todd, hitting in the 2 spot.
Big gap to right center, and boy, they really feel like Herrera might be on the move. I would think, George, that oppositions will look at the Rockies' offense with what's been happening, and without Tulowitzki in the lineup, that they'll see the Rockies being more aggressive, running more, hitting run, the squeeze.
Well, I think, too, with Todd Helton hitting in the 2-hole, a guy that typically can manage a bat. In other words, he can pull the ball. He kind of slice things up where a ball's pitched. He's not somebody that's going to strike out a lot. So what they can allow them to do is put the hit and run on with him.
You see the breakdown. He has more pull hits, but as George said, sprays them all around the diamond. Herrera bluffed. Lucroy came up throwing. It's 2-1, and looked like Gallardo there trying, and I don't say quick pitch, but he tried to get it to the plate a little faster that time and was off balance.
Well, you really hate to see a guy, too, do that. I do, because it just seems to throw everything out of the whack on your delivery. You see the thumb over? The throw over to first base will follow. In the old days, you see a thumb like that, and it flipped the guy. How the game's changed.
Give him a little chin music.
Yeah, give him a little chin music. As Nolan Ryan used to say, give him a bow tie.
Two and two now, the count on Helton. Fun to watch a young catcher, Jonathan Lucroy, tonight go through that process of calling a game. I mean, we think so much, George, about the mechanics physically, blocking pitches, setting up the target, but the mental side's as bigger.
Absolutely it is, being able to run it.
Todd's going to drop it in front of Corey Hart, and the Rockies have the first two on to start the first inning.
One thing that Todd has worked very hard on, see how high the hands are up here. What you want to do is make sure you get this bat into a hitting position as the ball comes. You can see that this pitch is down on the inner half of the plate to Todd. So what you see is this back leg. And what you want to stay away from is getting any kind of a loop into the swing. That time he was able to go down and get it and lift the ball into the outfield.
Early opportunity for the Rockies. Ryan Spilborghs singled and scored in the first inning last night, getting his second start in center field for Carlos Gonzalez. 281 the mark on the year for Spilly. And extremely effective, especially over the last month with this situation right now, men in scoring position. Two strikes now on Spilborghs.
Two left-handers with base hits to start it for the Rockies. Right-handers have hit just a .198 against Gallardo. With the runners in scoring position and one out, this is crazy. 197.
Yeah, how about that? I saw that number beforehand. I thought he should have a better record than the one he's got right now.
Yeah, it's 6-3. The strikeouts, a lot of strikeouts per innings pitched.
And there was a little bow tie almost with the fastball. 1-2 on Spilly.
We mentioned the numbers for Spilborghs. 364 with 2 home runs with runners in scoring position.
That very good speed in Herrera at second base. Helton leads away from first. Now 2-2. Interesting alignment as well. They have Prince Fielder as far off first base as I think I've seen a first baseman.
Well, that's where, because of the charts and what they show, the ball on the ground by Spilborghs, he'll shoot it through that right side a lot. So they're trying to pitch him into where he'll try to pull the baseball, because Weeks is really up the middle close to second base. Willie Randolph handles a lot of that infield defense, being a former second baseman. That was his primary job with Joe Torre in New York before he became manager. Willie would set the defenses on the infield and the outfield.
Rich Dowers sets the infield defense for the Rockies and does a terrific job. Doesn't chase the breaking ball. Good at bat for Spilly, down 0-2. He runs the count full.
Gallardo 43 walks in 88 innings. So he can have a tendency to get wild with Brad Hopp sitting in the on-deck circle. 2 doubles last night.
Payoff pitch from Gallardo. A little squirt to Fielder, and they'll only get one. Boy, he got way into the kitchen of Ryan Spilborghs, and that ball just squirted off his hands towards Fielder, but Fielder couldn't catch it on the fly.
And even though he was playing about even with the bag, this ball's going to run hard in on the knuckles, and Spilborghs tries to fight this pitch off. It appeared to stay in the middle. Then that late tail came out. Fielder had to wait on it. Escobar decided to eat the baseball versus attempting to hit Gallardo on the move.
3-6 on the fielder's choice. Herrera moves into scoring position for Brad Hopp.
And how about this? Hopp was swinging at the first pitch, and he does it 43.8% of the time. Doesn't do it here.
Take a look at our Colorado Lottery replay from last night. That was the first pitch in the inning last night for Brad for an RBI double, and doubled later in the ball game as well. Catch another great replay with the lottery now through June 30th. Replay any of your non-winning Colorado Lottery scratch tickets and a second chance drawing at coloradolottery.com. Rockies have scored more first inning runs than any team in baseball. Their issue has been at times keeping the cycle going. They have scored 51 runs in the first inning. They'll appeal down to third, and no swing, says Mark Carlson, and I don't think there was any question about that. 2-1 on Brad Hopp. When you think about it, this is game 68 for the Rockies and 51 first inning runs.
It's a good way to put the pressure on the opposition. You just got to go out and slam the door.
First and third with an out. Now 3-1 on Hopp.
He's had to come back on a lot of counts, 3-0 counts, 2-0 counts on hitters, and try to get them out. He's got a right-handed hitter, which he's had great success against this year, hitting under 200. Right-handers are. Early in the game, the older you get, the wiser you get in the ball game. And you say, this guy's not going to beat.
Well, the right-handed hitter Melvin Mora on deck because Jim Tracy felt that Seth Smith just didn't match up very well against Gallardo. He struck out 3 times against Giovanni Gallardo in the season's opener, and Melvin's swinging a pretty good bat. Give it a go.
Well, that, and I think too, moving Miguel Olivo down a little bit into the lineup, so that's kind of like having that second cleanup hitter down there. And Barmes is right behind him.
Full count on Brad Hopp. Haven't seen Lucroy throw the ball much. Might see Spilborgh's go here on the 3-2 pitch.
Looks like it is. Leaning a little bit at first. Now you're going to fake to third, and that's one thing you got to be aware of. As a runner at first base, the old fake to third, snap throw to first.
And Gallardo can't have much more than his little toe on the rubber. He is so far to the first base end of it. There goes Spilly, and it's a bouncing ball. The fielder will have only one play, and the Rockies score a run. A good play by fielder, but the Rockies get the run.
He is very athletic for a big man. He moves very well, and he exhibited that on this play at first base. Comes off the bag a couple of steps. Hops thinks he's got a base hit to right and another first to third situation, and Brent's able to make a play on it. Hopp does pick up an RBI.
24 for Brad now. And just like last night, the Rockies put up the first slat of the picket fence. Although I do like those crooked numbers.
Those crooked ones are a lot more fun. I know it makes it a lot easier on a starting pitcher.
Melvin Mora starting in left field for the first time in 7 years. And he had the tough swing there on the off-speed breaking ball. We talk about Gallardo's fastball, but there's a good curveball and a good changeup to go with it, as George pointed out in the scouting report.
Not afraid to throw it in any situation either. The confidence he has in that secondary stuff. Really got on top of that fastball. It topped at 94.
Trying to minimize the damage. The Rockies with the early lead, just as they did last night. And they are 16 games above 500 when they score first. And for the Brewers, the opposite way. Well under break even when they trail early. Did he check the swing? Yes. Jeff Kellogg said he was just able to stop it.
Good job by Lucroy to keep this ball out in front of him, anticipating the breaking ball. That's where he wanted it, just smothered it. You can also see that Melvin able to hold the hands back.
He has such a short stroke that when he starts to put it into motion, it's tough to stop because there's a lot of velocity to the swing.
He also doesn't hit just the brakes, he hits the emergency brake.
Got him that time, and the Rockies are gone in the first. But they score a run and have the early lead. $16 of ballpark food. Text Rocks1 for ice cream. Yes, sir. Text lots of Rocks1s. Or Rocks2 for nachos. And the cheese is not yours. Thank you very much, Suze. And also, show that text that you send to Brakes Plus in June, and you receive an oil change and filter. Rotate and balance your tire. Front wiper blades, just $50. Don't forget, message and data rates may apply.
Yep.
Ryan Braun on a two-hopper to Clint Barnes. Our Sweet 16 bracket. And let's see, pretzels have advanced, peanuts. Yeah, I like those too. Got to get ice cream in there now. Burgers and barbecue. That'll be a tough second round match, you know.
The hot dogs.
Oh, the hot dogs and
barbecued
barbecue.
hot dogs. Yeah.
Hamburgers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Burritos, cheesesteak next week, huh? That'll be a tough choice. I'll have to think about that. One gone here in the Milwaukee second. Rockies up a run. Jeff Francis gave up a hit, and the Rockies promptly turned a double play for him. Casey McGee battling a little bit of some knee soreness. He'll bounce it to Barnes.
Look for Clinton and Ian Stewart to get a lot of work tonight with this right-handed hitting lineup that the Brewers have because of the off-speed effectiveness that Jeff Francis has.
Well, 5 outs in the game for Jeff. They've all come on the ground. And doing it rather quickly here in the second inning. So
minimize your pitches. He's at 16 now. This is what gets you deeper into ball games. What you do in those first 3 or 4 innings of a game will result of you pitching in the 8th inning.
Lucroy, the catcher, took a little bit of time to give his man a break. Jonathan, pretty much the #1 guy now for the Brewers, although Kenny Maka has not officially conferred that title on him yet. And this time it'll get by Barmes and into center field. 2-out hit for Lucroy, his second hit in the series. As a pitcher, George, whether it's a guy like Jeff Francis, Aaron Cook, who has a lot of balls put into play on the ground, how do you avoid not getting frustrated when those bouncing balls find holes like that one did.
I mean, nine hits, 8 singles the other day for Aaron Cook in Minnesota. And that's within a glove's reach of being outs everywhere. It's very difficult because you make pitches to have the success, and then when the pitch doesn't to the defense, it doesn't be able to make the play on it. This kind of wears on you a little bit as you get deeper into the ball game. You have to realize maturity-wise, Jack, that I'm making my pitch. Sooner or later, they got to hit it at somebody. Yeah, that was a shame the other day. 9 hits off Francis, 1 double, 8 singles, and everything on the ground.
Lucroy might be a catcher, but like Russell Martin and some others, even Miguel Olivo with the Rockies, he runs a little bit. 2 steals and 3 tries.
Well, you're starting to see more and more of that, aren't we? With their young catchers that get to the big leagues in a hurry. Their legs aren't tired yet. They haven't caught those 500 games.
Yeah. All those thousands of innings in the squatted position.
Jason Kendall, good example.
This should end the inning if there's room for Olivo. Not quite. Second row behind the screen.
Well, not a lot of wind in the ballpark tonight as there was yesterday. Kind of a slight breeze here at Coors Field.
All the winds at Pebble Beach today.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Most of the wind here at Coors Field is blowing straight down, so it's comfortable.
Nice crowd again here. Saturday nights are always well attended at the ballpark. I like these 6:10 starts. I think they're great for the families. Just a nice way. 0-2, got him. Challenged him with a little upstairs heat. Middle of 2. Jeff Francis and the Rockies have the lead. Rockies with the early advantage. Let's get tonight's Great Colorado Payback Sideline report from Mark Stout. Mark?
All right, guys, George had mentioned that Giovanni Gallardo had a rough outing in his last start. Previous to that, he was pitching well. Well, you want to know why? Because he went against the Texas Rangers at Miller Park, and even though he was born in Mexico, he grew up in Fort Worth, Texas. His favorite team as a kid, the Texas Rangers. Loved Juan Gonzalez, Rafael Palmeiro, Pudge, Ivan Rodriguez. He admitted that he was nervous. And one other interesting thing about Gallardo, he can swing the bat. He'll be hitting in the next half inning. He leads the league with 2 home runs this year, and he is the only pitcher to have hit a home run off of Randy Johnson.
Ian Stewart nearly hit a home run off Gallardo. Boy, into the Mountain Range.
Are you kidding
Club.
me? Wait a minute. Time out. Time out. I came to the ball game and they said it's really safe to sit here. We got a TV. It's great. Nothing will happen to it. It didn't go in the front row, did it? It went in the second row of the Mountain Ranch Club. Hey, honey, what do you think? You want nachos? You want a hot dog? Hey, incoming. Holy mackerel.
He nearly gave it a little bit of, let's do it for our great friend Bob Uecker, just a little bit outside.
Yeah. Bobby, hope you're listening.
That's not easy to put it where Stewart put it.
Oh, even if you ordered it.
Yes. Let me have some nachos with a side of Stewart.
Yeah. All right, hanging off of it. Thank you.
Yeah, it chases the breaking ball. Gallardo ends the first and starts the second with strikeouts.
Well, let's take a look at this right out of the hand. A hard breaking ball. See, he gets up on there, spins this thing, and really tries to rotate and gets that downward spin on the baseball. Just gets you to chase that hard tumbling action in there. And it's the big arm action that's way up on top.
Now, the Brewers know how important this guy is. They've signed him to a contract that could potentially keep him with the Brewers through the 2015 season.
Well, he is very important to the organization. With Ben Sheets gone, Sabathia left for free agency. They're both together. You know, you mentioned working off the corner of the rubber. This is the first base side we're showing you, folks, all the way over to that the little tip of it. The other guys that do a little bit of this are Cardinal pitchers. Those Cardinal pitchers that do it, Brad Penny this year has started to do that. That allows them to clear that front side a little bit better. For me, I've always been a right side rubber guy. I think that's where you hide the ball longer from both the left-handed, right-handed hitters.
Well, that was the point I was going to ask, because it would seem like for a right-hander, you get a pretty good look at the ball.
You get a really good look at the ball, but what Gallardo does, he doesn't pitch in a lot to right-handers. He does to left-handers, but by being over onto that side of the rubber, it allows him to stay to the outer half of the plate.
Still 2 strikes on Miguel Olivo. Rockies catcher hitting in the 7th spot tonight. Did they call that a swing? Yes, they did. Well, he just overpowered upstairs, and that's strikeout number 3. They're in a row for Gallardo.
Elevation. That's the key to it. Everything had been down. It had been a breaking ball. You try to start it, but it's at 93, 94. Difficult to catch up to.
Two away in this 1-0 Rockies lead. Clint Barmas, the hitter. Second straight started short. And it's a sky ball to his opposite number. Escobar wants it. And Gallardo has a sharp second. Rockies still with the advantage. 1-0 as we head to the third. Into that little jury box in Minnesota. This was a big-time homer for the Rockies. Ryan Spilborghs on the way to the win Thursday afternoon, and then Jason Hamill executing the squeeze to perfection in last night's ball game. Clutch plays of the week brought to you by Amco AA MCO. Number 8 hitter Alcides Escobar, the shortstop, starts it off for the Brewers.
When you have a good hitting pitcher, sometimes you try to force balls into the strike zone because you don't want to have a man on when they come up. Talked about Gallardo a minute ago. The 2 home runs, 5 RBIs on the season. He's hitting $167 in the on-deck circle.
Francis misses with the first 2. And now the first 3. First time Jeff's gone to 3-0 on a hitter.
Well, if you're one of the first 12,500 adults 21 and over when you come to the ballpark on June the 24th, you'll get a Coors Light cooler bag. It's always a big fan favorite. Boston's in town. Another ground ball. Oh, yeah. Seem to be saying that a lot in this ball game.
Well, interesting. Jim Tracy talking with us before the ball game said, you know, guys like Escobar, Gomez, they don't like to walk. So even if you fall behind 3-0 or 3-1, you don't necessarily have to lay one right in the middle to get these guys because they want to swing.
They want to swing the bat. You can spin a break a ball down and in. They'll put it in play. You can spin the sinker down and away. They'll put that in play.
Here is Gallardo. Not only the 2 home runs this year, 6 home runs in his career.
Well, starts with that open stance and then has a little bit of a toe tap. He likes the ball middle half in. It's funny if you set up here thinking that you're giving a description of a hitter, but he's the pitcher. But he is. He's a guy that has a slightly open stance. You can see that at home plate and a little bit of a toe tap step to the baseball, trying to stay back. But he is a very good hitter.
Guilty of being too aggressive on the changeup there, and Jeff gets ahead 1-2.
You see that slight open stance here, and it kind of stays open in that direction when a pitch comes.
It had the plate but low, 2-2.
There's yet to be an out recorded in the air. 6 ground ball outs and a strikeout, according to Doug Marino. I had to say that, Jack, because see, Doug gives me $5 a game for every time I mention his name, so that's $10. If you want to get in, you can get in.
You mean the Doug Marino game?
Yeah, see, there's 15.
Okay. Strike 3 called. Had to wait a second. I could hear Larry Vanover. I couldn't hear if he was saying ball 3 or strike 3.
We had to wait for the little step back and the jab. That's what you're waiting on the 4th strike zone. You'll see it, kind of a little cutter there on the outside part of the plate. Larry says, you know what? Good night.
2 punch outs now for Jeff Francis. Ricky Weeks grounded out to Ian Stewart to start the ball game. The Brewers' second baseman. Rockies with the advantage, scoring a run in the first inning. On a pair of hits and a ground ball out off the bat of Brad Hopp. Oh, good changeup there.
It's all about arm action, selling with your body. Don't slow the body down to indicate you're slowing the arm down. See that you can see that circle change coming out, and then a rotation of the fingers to the inside part of the ball, and that creates the downward movement of the baseball. Why not double it up?
As we say, liked it once, let's try it again.
Yeah, just change a little bit more velocity, and when you throw that pitch, if you back off the velocity, the bigger the break becomes. Try to throw it too hard, it'll straighten out on you. A high leg kick, hide the ball well, stay along his body line. He painted that on the outside corner. Francis looking like Sandy Koufax here in the 3rd.
3 punch outs for Jeff Francis. A very strong start for the Rockies left-hander. Rockies on top. Rockies with a 1-0 lead. Jeff Francis, Jonathan Herrera, Todd Helton in the third inning against Yovani Gallardo. Jeff looking for his first hit of 2010, 0 for 8. Does have 15 RBIs, 6 doubles in his career.
Oh, he can swing the bat a little bit. He handles the bat well in pitcher situations. Bunts, slug bunts.
2-1 the count now on Jeff Francis. I asked Jim Tracy about the squeeze and when he first started thinking about employing that suicide squeeze last night. And I said, did you do it as he was rounding second base, on his way to third, and Stewart? And he said, well, just about. But he said they worked all spring on doing the suicide squeeze out of the sacrifice bunt look.
See, it worked good last night.
At the knees, a called strike 3. We'll go back to the squeeze last night and see it was shown early. That's what.
Well, he gave it up very early in that situation, and it just worked to perfection for them. I think it helped, too, with the left-handed pitcher on the mound, his back to the runner. And all the equation, how you like to set that up as a manager. Hamill was able to bunt it. Stewart was able to score. But that's the way you'd like to set it up, with that left-hander on the mound, a little bigger jump for your base runner.
Johnny Herrera singled and scored the Rockies' run in the first inning. And when Jim was talking about showing the sacrifice and then doing the squeeze, you show it early enough, they think you're just trying to move that runner from first to second.
No question. No question. And then again, with that left-hander, you can take off and be there a little farther down the line with it. And he's advancing the baseball.
Jim also said, you know, it's something we worked on all spring. I wanted to make sure our guys knew we weren't doing that just to do it in spring training. We were going to use it.
Well, you got to be serious with everything you're doing, because all the way down to Double-A, when they're playing a National League team, I know the minor leagues even work on this, that playing a National League team, pitchers hit. So you got to be prepared there for one of those managers to pull something off.
2-1 pitch to Herrera. Johnny's going to have another hit. 2 good swings tonight. Maybe just being here a little bit of time, John Herrera is starting to not be quite as anxious.
Tore the cover off the baseball in spring training. Showed that he could handle pitching at the big league level. Got a lot of starts in spring training. This on a fastball, kind of up and away from him. A difficult pitch to really try to get a hold of. But see how he stays very quiet, just a short stride. And then from the time where his bat started to contact here, it didn't take long to get there, and it allowed him to lift that ball into the outfield.
3 hits for the Rockies now. Todd Helton singled to right field his first time up. High strike there on a fastball to Todd. Rockies got some help again today in the earlier games within the division. 1-1 on Helton. Dodgers lost again at Fenway to the Red Sox in the bottom of the 9th inning. Giants were shut out in Toronto by the Blue Jays. Poor Matt Cain gave up 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning and took the loss. Aaron Hill had a 2-run homer. The Rockies thought they were going to gain on the Padres last night. The Padres scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th at home and beat Baltimore 3-2. Baltimore has the early lead tonight. Got that high strike call again. 1-2 on top.
Yeah, that's the part of it. I mean, because Gallardo will throw the ball up into the strike zone, and on the 4th strike zone, you're going to see this. Did catch just the tip of it at 93 miles an hour.
And for a left-hander, they just don't like to operate up there. Left-handed hitter. Todd fought that one off. That was at 94. Rockies with a run in the first inning. Jeff Francis has looked sharp. He's allowed 2 hits. One was erased on a double play in the first inning. The other one did no damage.
Oh boy.
Ow, 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 ow.
Yeah, that's being nice. 87-mile-an-hour slider, so as a left-handed bat, this ball's coming into you, and if you don't catch out front and let it get a little bit too deep, you're going to take it right off of the shin, and oh, man. Look where this ball gets help. This thing just explodes right off the top of the foot. I guess it just goes numb. You don't feel anything. You know what I mean?
Guess.
How do guys play when that ball's thrown at 87 and it's coming off your bat at 105 and it hits you right on top of the foot and you're saying, I'm okay. I guess when you're 4 for 9 against Gallardo in your career, you're feeling really good. You want to keep swinging that bat.
Well, I can't. The only thing I can equate to it from my own experience is that pass over the middle. It was a little too high, and the linebacker just laid you out. You know, and, oh, yeah, I'm okay.
And you went back to the huddle and going, "Am I in the right one?"
Yeah. I'm okay, Mom.
We're the one in the red jersey, son. You need to go to the other side.
Okay.
What's my name? I don't know. It's on the back of my jersey. Why do you keep asking?
May have to spin that jersey around so it's in the front, right?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I recognize the face, but who are you?
Yeah. You play on the same team as me?
Todd keeps battling.
A lot of times pitchers, once you throw that hard pitch on the inner half of the plate, you'll go right back to it again because hitters are hesitant to go after it. Gallardo's gone away with a couple of pitches, then came in with a hard slider there.
But Gomez covers a lot of ground. He gets to that liner, 2 down. Ryan Spilborg's the hitter now. You know, you can chill out this summer with a $1 frozen Coke or frozen cherry drink from Burger King. $1 frozen drinks, limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Oh, I love those frozen Cokes.
You like those?
I do. I was the guy always chasing the ice cream truck, you know, for the popsicles. Why wouldn't I like a frozen Coke?
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Fielder's choice, first time up for Spilly. 1-0 Rockies. Johnny Herrera keeping Gallardo occupied. Hadn't made a move yet. Spilborg's in the hole, 2 strikes.
See if he goes up and in. Remember what he did to Olivo earlier. He went breaking ball away, swing and miss, fastball in, then he elevated a fastball up in the strike zone and got a swing and a miss, kind of trying to hold his swing up, but it was up in the zone. Hard slider, misses with it out of the strike zone.
Well, young catcher, and he's been doing a lot of looking into the dugout. You got to believe there's a lot of information being passed to Jonathan Lucroy.
Yeah, there is, and you're wondering on the, because it would be unusual for Willie to call the pitch. Willie Randolph, their bench coach, a former infielder. Typically, it is a pitcher. I know in Arizona.
Bad throw. Herrera's thinking 3, and he'll get there. Hart will throw it back in to Fielder. Now Gallardo been throwing over there throughout the inning and misfired on that one, and it costs him 2 bases.
Well, it does. He's in a position on a 1-2 count with 2 outs too. That'll frustrate a manager. You can see the lead and then the fire over, not anywhere near. I think he may have caught Prince a little bit off guard with that hard throw, and then Herrera is just off to the races. See this throw here, hit off of the edge of the glove of Prince Fielder. Richie Dyer saying, come on, son, get over here and visit me.
First error for Gallardo.
Yeah, Gallardo with 3 wild pitches on the year.
center field, but it gets to Gomez, and the Rockies don't score. Good swing, but just an out. On to the fourth. 1-0 Rockies. %40 more for your gold, more from Mark Stout.
Hey, Jack and George, Corey Hart at the plate. He leads the National League in home runs with 17. Over the course of the last month, he's been using a bat made in north central Wisconsin in Antigo, a small town of 8,000. And they've got a wood products company called Zelazowski. It's 86 years old. They were recently approved to make bats for Major League Baseball, and it's called a rock bat. Now, as I said, there's 33 companies that make bats. 60% of bats are made by Louisville Slugger. I had a conversation with Keith Schultz, the equipment manager for the Rockies, and he said, that's about right for the Rockies. 60% of the guys use Louisville Slugger. And I said, when do you order bats for the team? And he told me in spring training he orders about a dozen to 18, and then there's an opening day order of about 12 more for most of the guys, and then it's on an as-you-need a bat order from there on in. He doesn't order them in bunches, but a rock bat is what Corey Hart is using, and it's helping him out, guys.
Well, it has indeed, Mark. He has been as productive as any Brewers hitter over the last 2 months. He's ahead 3-1. But he hits into another ground ball out. Jeff Francis piling them up. 7 ground ball outs. Did you know that you can sign up for an in-home energy audit and learn simple ways to save around your house from XL Energy? Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. And as we look at the XL Energy fun fact, we talked about it earlier, George, the 10 hits, the most allowed by the Rockies in a shutout and the most by any team this year. How about it happened against the same team, the Brewers, 6 years ago?
That is a little unusual. Not a distinction you want on. Not really the same team, the Brewers, obviously, from 6 years ago. I think a little more potent at bats in their lineup now. No, the switch that Ken Maka, the manager, made with Prince Fielder hitting third, Braun hitting fourth. Braun's numbers hitting fourth aren't very good. 209 average with 43 at bats there, compared to 338 when he hits in the 3-hole. Maybe he's trying to create more offense for Mr. Fielder by putting him in the 3-hole.
Well, that's what you alluded to in the first inning, that they need to get this guy going again.
Well, they haven't scored in 18 innings. This ball's going to be hit right up the middle, played perfectly by Barnes.
We mentioned it before about Rich Dower setting the Rockies' infield defense. Jim Tracy saying that Rich does as good a job of that as anybody, and we have seen throughout this series, but really all year, how well aligned the Rockies are. They've got good fielders anyway, but when you're in position to make a play, then you have a chance to cover more ground.
But it all works if pitchers make a pitch.
Starts right there.
It starts on the bump. If you're able to make the pitch to the defense of where things are set, It's amazing. And one thing that Richie believes in, and I can see where it's saved a number of runs. I'll give you the double down the line early in the game, but I'm going to pinch that little gap between third and short. So that's why you see Stewart get to a lot of balls. Toodle Whiskey to a ton of baseballs.
That little squeeze George is talking about, evident here with Ryan Braun. Look at the relative distance on the left side of the diamond between Stewart and Barmes.
Absolutely. And what you're doing is you're cutting that ball off that's going to shoot through this area. Allow the ball right down the line. I like the fact Jonathan Herrera's up the middle a little bit more too. But you can do that when you have a pull-happy team. Talking about the Brewers. Right-handed, big power bats. And you have a guy on the mound that's going to off-speed you. He's going to give you things that's going to create you to get on the front foot, get out in front, and roll over a lot of ground ball outs.
And right there, a little tapper foul at the plate was on a good Jeff Francis changeup with a little more velocity, the harder change, if you will, in the low 80s instead of the upper 70s.
Then it almost turns into a true sinker for him more than a changeup.
Broken back, Stewart right in position. Thank you very much. Good pitching, good defensive positioning. It adds up to another shutout inning for the Rockies. Time for the Home Depot doing more on defense. Locate the pitch, set the defense, make the play. All done very, very nicely by the Rockies to get Ryan Braun to end the top of the fourth. Brad Hopp, who knocked in the Rockies' run with a ground out, although it could have been a base hit. Nice defense by Prince Fielder to take the hit away from Hopp. But he did get RBI number 24. This looks like it's going to get out of play. Braun will take a peek, but yep.
Another swing.
Repair that chip in your windshield now. Call Safelight Elite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go online at safelight.com.
We're beyond the point of where what I'm going to make a point here about Brad Hopp. Okay. It was given to me in his first at bat, but he swings at the first pitch 43% of the time. So that's a lot? Yeah, probably is. Does he make a lot of outs? No. He hits .552 with solid contact on the first bat. How about that? Larry Walker was huge at that. First swing.
Good off-speed pitch by Gallardo. He gets another strikeout. He has punched out 5 in the ball game. Just this little. You know, backdoor breaking ball. I get so used to, I think, and growing up, I watched Bert Blyleven.
12-6.
The big old floppy curveball. And you see that curve, kind of probably started mid-thigh and then.
It didn't have the bite to it. It's all about release point and feel out front. You know, where you can get it. A lot of people used to say you can't throw a curveball at Coors Field. It will hang too much. You have to throw sliders or changeups in order to get people out. If your hand stays on top of the ball and you keep that rotation pulling forward with the baseball, pretty good chance you can have a good break on it. Pedro Estacio had a great curveball here. Sean Chacon had a very good curveball here. Most of the Rocky staff last night, Jason Hamill, great curveball.
Yeah, he had a very nice hook last night, but he doesn't throw the big 12-6 either. His is
tight,
down more.
Tight,
tighter.
kind of change it over a little bit, kind of a 1 o'clock to...
The 145 to...
140. The alarm's not set so quick or dramatic. All right, let's see what he does here with Melvin Moore again, because what he does earlier with a lot of these guys, he'll start to elevate the fastball. Let's take a peek. This is the best part. We get to look in there, folks. We're going to look at a sign, see what he comes up with for us. LaCroix sitting behind the plate. See, he asked for that fastball. They're going to go with it. Are they going to go up? They're going in. That hurt you?
At 93.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's a matter of trying to absorb the hit of the ball. It's an art. You know, you see kind of come in and let it just kind of glance off of you.
We were talking about when Tulo got hurt the other day and fractured the wrist. It looked like he was looking for something away and had the body going forward. So rather than turning like Melvin did, all he could do was pull his hands back, and they stayed right on the target line.
Yeah, it stayed right on top of that target line. And the worst, he's called a timeout now. He wants trainers come out and visit with him. It must have caught him right. Here's Tulowitzki the other day. Watch as he goes to stride to the baseball. He couldn't turn it in. Everything had started forward, and the left forearm was exposed. Tulo, if you're watching at home, sorry we had to show it again, buddy. I know it's not a good memory for you. It's Jim Tracy, Keith Duggar come out to check on it.
Melvin probably got down there and saying, okay, by now the numbness should be going away, and
shouldn't I feel something?
Yeah,
I'm not feeling anything. This isn't good. Not good at all. Let's see where this ball got him. See if kind of freeze it out there. I thought it was kind of glancing below, but it caught him. It looks like right on the elbow, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or right above it, maybe?
Yeah, I thought it was more up on the bicep, but watching the replay from center field, it looked more elbow. Oh, yeah.
He's staying in now, so Keith and Jimmy headed back to the dugout.
Melvin can smile. He says, a hit by a pitch? I had quintuplets at home. This is no big deal.
Wow. I can't even imagine.
His wife's spot in heaven has long been secured. She's a good lady. Ball 1 to Ian Stewart. Of course, with Melvin, there are 2 times when having quintuplets are going to get you. Obviously, that first year or 2, all the late night feedings and all that. I don't know how it breaks down boys and girls, but think about it. You've got a daughter. My daughter's married now, but think about it when those quints are at the dating age in high school.
Not going to be fun for whoever comes to the front door, I can tell you that.
Jammed fastball in on the hands of Stewart. Weeks will get him for the second out. Let's take a look now, if we can, at tonight's AT&T trivia question for you. This is a pretty good one. Trevor Hoffman came to the National League in 1993 just like the Rockies. Who has more saves? The all-time saves leader or the Rockies as a team? It's an interesting answer, folks. We'll get to it in a little bit. Two outs for Olivo, and this one is close.
I had it the whole way. Hey, I want to say, you know something, and this guy never gets a lot of notice. Scotty Mariama is in charge of the rehab, and he's got to do a lot of that this spring. He's had Taylor Buckles, De La Rosa, Houston Street, spent a lot of time in extended spring getting these guys prepared, and Scotty needs a tip of the hat because he does a wonderful, wonderful job not only there, but at the minor league level, and what he does to bring guys back from surgeries and get them in preparation for what they do. It's a hands-on deal. It's a long hour You know, a lot of long hours at the ballpark in the afternoons at 11 o'clock in the morning and going home at midnight after ball games. Scotty, do a great job for this organization.
2-1 on Olivo, and case in point to what George was referencing there. Taylor Buchholz and Jorge De La Rosa threw live batting practice today, and Rockies were pleased with the efforts of both of them. They're probably going to head out on rehab assignments next week.
They should. I mean, for sure. I think Buchholz is going Thursday. Will make a start at AAA. See how he comes out of that. Houston Street making an appearance tonight. He's going to go 4 outs tonight just to see how it is to go out and come into an inning, get out of it, go sit down, get back up again. Update on everybody. A simulated game today. And for Jorge De La Rosa, and everything went smoothly.
And Jorge is chomping at the bit, folks, if I can use that cliche, because it's appropriate. Full count now on Olivo. He is like a stallion ready to run. He is so bored. He wants to get back out there.
Tell you, what was he, 19-6? De La Rosa was before the injury. I mean, it was just ridiculous what he had accomplished.
Yeah, he is so anxious to get back out there and help his team.
Different count, different setup for Olivo. Last time fastball up in the zone. This time fastball down and away at 94. Now, De La Rosa earlier today will give you a look at what goes on. You think these camera guys sleep all afternoon? No way, man. They're here at the yard taking shots. This was about 1:45 today that Jorge came out on the mound with Bob Apodaca was right behind him. Chris Nelson, Chris Iannetta, and Ian Stewart all hit off of these guys this afternoon.
Big hop for Escobar, and that will take care of the Rockies' fourth. On to the fifth, still 1-0 Rockies. AT&T switched to the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, a better 3G experience. Rates Plus, a whole lot more. Dex One, marketing solutions, business results. And by Yokohama Tire, technology drives better tires. Rockies behind Jeff Francis, hanging on to the one run they got in the first inning off Giovanni Gallardo. And it'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, McGee, Lucroy, and Gomez against the Rockies lefty here in the fifth.
Well, one of the guys that got one of the 2 hits in this game so far, Lucroy, will hit second. He got a fastball. He took right back up the middle. The comparison between the two, 5 strikeouts. You expect a little more of that, but the pitch count so much better for Francis. 51 now for Jeff in the ball game. 32 of those for strikes, 19 balls. Got
ahead of McGee. He got him to ground out to short first time. Jeff with 3 strikeouts and 8 ground ball outs. So there has only been 1 out in the air. That was the soft line drive to Stewart that ended last inning.
On June 23rd, the first 15,000 through the fans, they'll receive a Carlos Gonzalez t-shirt courtesy of FSN Rocky Mountain. So pick up the phone. Boston Red Sox are in town. ColoradoRockies.com or 1-800-388-ROCK.
2-2 to Casey McGee, and that's a pitch that McGee liked, up on a fastball, and he whacked it to left. Here's tonight's AT&T trivia question answer. Remember we asked you? They both started at the same time, the Rockies and Trevor Hoffman. Who has more saves? Well, you would think the Rockies would. They're a team. Trevor Hoffman, just one guy. And look at that.
It's close.
It's close. 26 more for the Rockies. And that's it. Trevor, the all-time saves leader.
Well, interesting, last night after the game had ended, the post-game show was over. The lights were turned out, the cleaning crews were working, and Trevor was jogging on the warning track.
And he still puts all the preparation time in. It's been a tough year for Hoffman. Just can't get the separation in location and speed between his fastball and changeup.
5 for 10 in save opportunities now.
He has been throwing better of late, the Milwaukee people have told us, but he is not in the closer's role.
LaCroix, a guy they will hit and run with. You got to be aware of it. The defense, they're set for the double play ball, but they are also pretty much straight away.
LaCroix looks down to Brad Fisher, the third base coach, for what play might be on. Cedar over there at first base with the runner. And he did try to go to right field, and it's going to drop. Brad throws to second. He tried to decoy McGee and almost was successful. LaCroix hit that off the end of the bat, and it took the pace off of it.
Well, you see him put up a glove. A lot of times right fielders will do this. They'll throw a glove up to show that they've got this the entire time in their glove. That'll slow runners down and give you a chance to try to put a force on at second base. McGee did hold up about halfway down. First time that Francis has really had any adversity in this ball game. After giving up a couple of singles, that's all in the game. He's got back-to-back singles here in the fifth. Bottom end of their lineup. Against the bottom half of the lineup, he has 2 strikeouts and a ground out.
Here's tonight's Quest high-speed pitch. You see, as you would expect, Gallardo harder thrower than Jeff Francis. Jeff hitting 90 once tonight. Brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Colorado Rockies. Slug bunt, foul.
Difficult for a fielder, as if Todd Helton was running in that time, to get in a position in case the bunt was on. You'll see Helton come charging hard from that first base side. Come into your picture on the left as it ball's up out of the zone. See, here comes Todd. They're thinking about the force. Your shortstop's going to hold the runner at second to prevent the big lead there, and then hopefully have a play. Good athlete on the mound, and Jeff Francis. He gets off and handles bunts well. They're not showing a bunt. And that doesn't surprise me because of where they are in the order, Jack. But you're saying you're dealing with Carlos Gomez, and then you have Escobar behind him.
Again, guys who like to swing.
One of the few times that the defensive alignment, talked so much about it earlier, changes. Stewart's even with the bag, maybe even a step in at third base to handle the hot shot or at bunt. Varmus and Herrera set up for the double play ball.
1-1 pitch. Stewart, he'll step on third. And they get the speedy Gomez. 2 for the price of 1. 2 outs with Lucroy at second. Boy, a good changeup by Jeff Francis.
You get that far out on the front foot, and even with the speed of Gomez, as soon as Stewart's able to catch this baseball, he's going to find the bag, knows that he's got to get rid of it in a hurry and throw a strike to Helton, and he does. Oh, a nice play. Christmas hop for Stewart. He'll use the bag as a push-off type method over to first base.
Jim Tracy coming out strictly for strategy here with Jeff Francis. You've got Escobar, and then you've got the pitcher. But with the way Escobar has been swinging the bat lately and Gallardo's capabilities as a hitter, I think Jim wanted to see where Jeff wanted to go with this.
Absolutely he does, and that's where he's coming out, and it's a total of what's going on, what pitch is working, where do you want to go with that pitch. The changeup's been his ground ball pitch in this game. And, you know, why not pitch to Escobar? Try to get the out. You may get burnt, but you've got a lot more at bats. You got 5 innings, 15 outs to try to push a run across against the Brewers. Go at this guy, then you got Gallardo, the pitcher, leading off the next inning.
Well, we talked about it when Escobar batted back in the 3rd inning. They went to 3-0 on him, and he didn't want to walk.
No, that's not part of his deal. He doesn't get very excited about seeing base on balls next to his name.
Rounded to Barmes in that 3rd inning.
He'll expand the zone, so as a pitcher, you're going to try to take the ball away. If you come inside off speed, that's the damage you have. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. He has done a nice job this year. An average near 350.
Rookie shortstop. He's 23 years of age. And he'll get the base hit to center field. And coming home, Lucroy, the throw will not be in time. So Escobar knocks in his 19th run. And that time he didn't expand. First time we've seen a Brewer take it back up the middle, basically.
They've tried to pull everything. Let's look at the pitch from Jeff Francis. It appeared to be a fastball, and it was at 89, and he hit it through the wicket. Right back up the middle. Francis trying to stay down to put a glove on it. That ball was hit hard, and right outstretched hands of Johnny Herrera not able to make the play on it. Spilborg's very good hustle in center field to get to the baseball.
Game tied at 1. Escobar likes to run 5 out of 6 on the year. That's the first run for Milwaukee in their last 19 innings. It's just the 4th run allowed by the Rockies in their last 32 innings. And with the offense still trying to find itself and being without Tulowitzki and Gonzalez again tonight. Got a pitch and play with the leather. Throw to first.
Well, Rockies dugout stores, they have everything you need to get geared up for the summer. So go to 303-832-TEAM or ColoradoRockies.com to find the nearest store location.
A little low, 2-0.
Good pitch, though. Fastball sinking down in the zone. Vanover has been fairly liberal today with his strike zone. Not that it's been way out of the zone, but I mean, he's given corner to corner to both pitchers. I just think right now, Escobar probably not going to steal a base. He has 5 on the year. Last night, Olivo caught his 16th out of 31 opportunities, so he's throwing a lot of guys out. But Escobar with a heavy lean with that lead shoulder is inducing Francis to throw over.
Barmes on the backhand. Still has time to touch the bag, but the Brewers have tied it up. Halfway through this one, we're knotted at 1. Ice cream or nachos, you can keep on voting throughout the evening. Come on, ice cream folks.
What is it?
We're
Jack
down. Come on.
We got to have one after every dinner here.
Oh, no kidding. Let's go. We'll have the results in our post-game show. Glenn Farmas, who popped up to his opposite number, Escobar, leads off the Rockies' 5th in this now tie ball game.
Let's see how Gallardo handles this. He's typically a guy that can make the jump, and all of a sudden you see pitches start to be made that maybe weren't made early in the ball game. His team has given him a lead. There's a good example of that 12-6 hook at 69 or 79 miles an hour. But he hasn't shown a lot of that pitch. It's been mostly sliders early in this game. And a lot of pitchers, Jack, particularly guys on visiting teams that come into this ballpark, they will define in the bullpen which breaking ball is working better. But as the game progresses, those 8 warm-up pitches in between innings are so meaningful because you may get the release point on the curveball that you didn't have, or the slider, vice versa. Rick Peterson, the pitching coach, longtime guru in Oakland, and then he went to the New York Mets and then back here to Milwaukee.
We caught a spike there. Gallardo, that was a fastball that was about 57 feet.
Hitters are free swinging at time, but not that free swinging.
Rockies with just 3 hits and only 1 since the first inning when they scored their run. Another one back by us and back downstairs. Jeff Francis, Johnny Herrera follow here in the Rockies' 5th. And we'll get back into the grandstand. Diamondbacks, who are on a long road losing streak, are leading in the top of the ninth at Detroit 6-4. Mark Reynolds with home run number 16. Miguel Montero back healthy again, hit a home run tonight. Got him. Barmes battled, but Gallardo beat him with the breaking ball. And that's out number one. Just a reminder, there's still time to vote for Colorado's top memorable moment that you'd like to see replayed during the Rockies postgame report tomorrow here on FSN Rocky Mountain. Text your vote to 95323. Text play one for EY Senior's home run at Mile High in '93, or play two for Matt Holliday's game-winning slide into home in the 2007 play-in game against San Diego. One ball and one strike. The count. Nope, make it 2-0. I heard the grunt from Larry Vanover without looking up at the scoreboard. The grunt he was saying was ball rather than strike.
There's a lot of umpires that you think are late making their calls, but they verbally make it immediately to the hitter.
3-0 now on Jeff.
'81 pitches in the ball game for Gallardo. Pitch count by innings so far. That first one in the third made the pitch count climb. A very quick inning in the second. He's at 12 now with only one out here in the fifth.
And he walks his first man, and it happens to be Jeff Francis. Lottery replay from the Colorado Lottery. Johnny Herrera in the leadoff spot tonight. He has responded with a pair of base hits. You can catch another great replay with the Colorado Lottery now through June 30th. Replay any of your non-winning Colorado Lottery scratch tickets in a second chance drawing at coloradolottery.com. Go ahead run aboard as Gallardo issues his first walk of the night. Herrera looks at that big curveball. 0-1.
I see Helton after getting that one off the top of the foot. He's not going to get two, at least without some aid to absorb part of that shock. So you know it got him pretty good.
One ball and one strike. Gallardo with the first walk, and he's been a guy that will walk people. Came in averaging more than 4 walks per 9 innings. He's had the one walk. He also hit Melvin Mora with a pitch last inning. Only Clayton Kershaw with more walks in the National League at this point.
Gallardo's only start here, he gave up 11 runs. Under 3 innings. You've got to go back and dig around a lot before you find some guys that had done that previously. Chacon had given up 12. Joe Nathan as a starter.
Yeah, I saw that. No, that was interesting.
Had given up 12. Jimmy Anderson, Chacon, Facera, Darryl Kyle, Ricard, Woody Williams. They also gave up 11.
I was getting ready to mention the sun has broken through and can impact on the plays over there at first base, and Prince Fielder asked for his sunglasses. Been overcast most of the game, and sun breaking through. Good hook there. Wow.
And hard on the hitters now with the pitchers in the sunlight and then it coming into the shadow. It makes it difficult because for hitters to pick up rotations a lot of times. That's why you see such drastic numbers on different guys. Day-night earned run averages, day-night batting averages. Jeff Francis, for example, in daytime is 2-0 with a 133 earned run average. At night games, 0-2 with a 550.
Two-two pitch. Strike 3 called. John must have been looking for something other than the fastball. Strikeout number 7.
Jack, I think with the awareness of the breaking ball that he had been able to throw for strikes in this inning, He probably caught the eye of Herrera, thinking he was going to the 12-6 hook, and he went with the heat on the outside corner.
Rockies still with an out to go in the inning. Todd Helton wants to keep things moving. They're not holding Francis on over there at first. And an off-speed pitch is cut on and missed by Helton.
Curveball again.
As a pitcher, knowing the shadow and sunlight, do you think more in those terms then?
I think trick the pitch early. In other words, curveball, slider, changeup early in counts, and now the fastball will be more effective at the back end of the count.
Right on cue. You know, you're pretty good at that.
Well, I don't know. But, you know, sometimes I think jack pitchers, too, because guys like Gallardo, you watch their delivery, and everything's really slow. And then, you know, as his arm reaches to the top of the peak where he's going to throw, when he puts the gas on, that's when his arm speed comes. On all of his pitches, so it makes it very deceptive to try to get to.
That fastball's in there. He gets ahead of Helton. The ball and 2 strikes. Again, that good gap in right center field between Gomez and Hart. 2-2 on Todd. Our Colorado Mining Association Power Hit of the Week was delivered by Mr. Helton. A no-doubt home run to right field at Target Field in Minnesota. Did you know that 65% of Colorado's electricity comes from coal, and it's mined in Colorado? 2-2 pitch in and out of the glove of Lucroy, so a break for the Rockies and Helton.
Yeah, 2 things didn't allow him to catch that baseball. One was the movement, and then the foul tip by Helton. It was moving away from him. This pitch is going to be rotating out into this fashion here. So when it does that, then it gets foul tipped again. It just makes it really difficult. That was just barely nicked by Helton. It just didn't hang on.
Gallardo needing an extra moment. He's only allowed 8 home runs on the season and almost 93 innings of pitching.
Fastball, want to take it to the inner half of the plate. Crowd help. Able to fight it off at 95 on the gun here at FSN.
Got one of the wires that support the big screen behind home plate.
Great crowd, huh?
Wonderful.
That's nice.
Yep. Weather's turned great with the sun poking through. Wind has picked up a little bit, but still wonderful. 78 degrees at first pitch tonight. Curveball, strike 3. Wow, that was a dandy.
That was flat nasty.
8 strikeouts on the night for Yovani Gallardo. Tie game after 5.
We've got the Helton banner out because we go back to this day in 1999. Todd Helton with the third cycle in the history of the team. He went 4 for 4 in that game. I asked him today what he remembered. He told me, I tripled in my last at bat, and I'd like to get a triple this year. And I said, you know what, interesting you say that, Todd, because there's only been one other season in his career he hasn't tripled, and that was a couple of years ago when he was injured for the majority of it. And he said, you know what, I usually get my triples early on, so I'm running out of time. But Todd Helton does have 34 career triples for this franchise, and that's third overall behind Larry Walker and Nathan Perez. So there's the Dex won this date in history. Todd Helton hits for the cycle. Thank you to the Helton fanatics in center field.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. Top of the order, Ricky Weeks to lead it off against Jeff Francis. He's grounded to third, been called out on strikes.
1 for 6 in his career against Francis. Saw him in that opening series, those 3-game series. Yeah, he really took the ball to the opposite field. He did it with authority. Seems to be cheating a little bit on the fastball, rolling over an awful lot to the left side.
He started the season with a 10-game hitting streak. He has battled a variety of injuries in his career. And he'll start off the 6th with a single. Hit number 6 for Milwaukee. Our quote of the night from our friends at Geico, and of course, because it's the Brewers, it has to be Mr. Euchre again. I don't know if that's him in the front row out there in the upper deck. I love this one. Minor League Player of the Year in my second season in the big leagues. Oh, Euchre, we wish you well. Hope to see you soon, buddy. Or to do it in Euchre terms, how you doing, Pally? A generous strike call there to Corey Hart for Jeff Francis. Jeff has had 2 1-2-3 innings, but a couple of hits, 3 of them last inning in a run, and a leadoff single here in the 6th.
Hart's hit into 6 double plays on the year. 1 in this ball game. Try to pick off another one here, and again, I think that's a dead red fastball hitter. Either a slow hook or changeup.
You know, they showed him a fastball in off the plate. You can't cheat Barmes as much in the hole as they like to when there's nobody on with Hart. Is it hit hard enough? The only play is going to be to first, and Todd can't see it in the sun. That's going to allow Weeks to score. And Hart will go to third. Well, the second night in a row that the sun has been costly to the Rockies. Todd tried, but you could tell he couldn't see it.
He did everything in his powers, but because of where the ball came and where it was hit, there's a couple of those blind spots. And wouldn't you know it, the sun went behind a cloud now after the play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, here it is. And again, Stewart's going to have to come to this area to get to the baseball. So what he does, watch how he works his way into the sunlight. Now, because of where he threw the baseball from, a low 3/4 throw, nothing to do with Stewart. I mean, it's a way through the baseball.
Yeah, the Brewers take the lead.
With that is you just run right into the sun and into the shadows. You're going to watch Corey Hart coming out, and then you're going to see Stewart. See, I mean, this is what the camera's looking at. That's what Todd Helton was looking at.
Two strikes on Fielder.
There's a great look on the Honeycam. You see Todd squinting and saying, you know what? I know it's out there. I know it's away from me. I just hope I'm in the right area. And he wasn't, and he had to give chase.
They still have not made a ruling on it. Oh, boy, what a break there for the Rockies. Fielder really expanded in that at-bat, strikes out on 3 pitches.
And you don't see that very often from Prince Fielder. Totally fooled on this 0-2 curveball. Big bender. You can see just straight upright, and knees locked, and his all upper body kind of flailed at it.
Now, the dilemma for official scorer Dave Platty is that you have to account for the runners moving along. There has to be an error charged at some point. Inside to Ryan Braun. Braun is 0 for 2 on the night with a grounder to short and a soft liner to third. I think Platty's still trying to decide what to rule on. That's a tough one. And Braun evens the count at 1-1 as he gets fooled by an off-speed pitch. Brewers have their first lead, and unfortunately tainted, but counts nonetheless, and the sun is poked back through again. Todd Helton knowing he's got to fight that over there at first base some more.
Well, the right-hander Matt Belisle, who has been outstanding and hold the opposition down and work out of innings, coming in with inherited runners. He's warming in the Rockies bullpen. Jim Tracy flipping pages and looking and hoping for the best at this point.
Well, Jeff Francis, talk about that bull in his neck right now. Strikes out fielder, trying to get Braun now.
And he did it on that 2-1 count. He went to the off-speed pitch on a swing and miss on a changeup. Impressive numbers for Braun.
Got him. Came right back off speed again. Wow. Back-to-back strikeouts by Francis, and you can back up the infield.
Yeah, back him up, expand the range, and a great pitch by Jeff Francis again. An 80-mile-an-hour changeup on the 81st pitch thrown by Jeff Francis, and in perfect position. Lower half of the strike zone, breaking down and away from a power hitter that's pulling the baseball. There has been an error awarded to Todd Helton.
Now, the dilemma was you have to account for those runners moving up, and that's why Todd has to be charged with the error.
Just his 4th of the season.
Breaking ball for a strike to Casey McGee.
Most a little bit like Guillardo in the last inning. All of a sudden, you hadn't seen a lot of curveballs from Jeff Francis, but 72-mile-an-hour, good release point, good velocity, difficult for hitters to adjust to. Here's fastball in. Got it elevated, but enough behind it at 87, and a variance of about 15, 16 miles an hour for a hitter to try to adjust to from from Jeff Francis.
Boy, if Jeff can wiggle out of this one, a huge boost for the ball club.
3, 4, and 5 will be up for the Rockies.
2 and make it 1 and 2 on Casey McGee.
Good idea. Big bender, 72 miles an hour. Put it on his back foot. Francis precision with his command of the off-speed pitches.
Set up inside again.
88 miles an hour with that fastball.
Repair that chip in your windshield now. Call Safelite Elite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelite.com. Pitch to McGee. Stewart's got this one. If the sun doesn't do it, Ty able to stay with it that time, although it was a struggle there. Brewers take the lead, but what an effort by Francis to allow just the one. with a Coors Light freeze can. Good effort here by Ian Stewart as they get a double play against the speedster Carlos Gomez. Keep wanting to say Carlos Gonzalez, the Rocky speedster, and he is indeed. Good work by Ian Stewart. That's the Frost Brew Coors Light freeze can. And Jeff Francis, after the hit and the error and a runner at third and nobody out, doesn't let the Brewers expand the advantage.
No walks in the ball game, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts for Francis.
That is an unearned run. Ryan Spilborghs checks his swing, and Larry Vanover says strike anyway. Gallardo has found his groove. He has fanned 4 of his 8 in the last 2 innings. This will be a tough chance. Escobar charging, can't make the play. Right off the home plate, Escobar playing back, trying to set himself for the transfer and couldn't glove it.
Nobody out, ball off of the top of the plate, and as he comes in, the ball kind of took a funny hop and shot to his left. Right here, watch this ball. It's going to make a move to the left, so he's thinking he's going to have to take the glove over here to make the throw. The ball got to the other side, and he couldn't hang on to it.
Gives Spilborghs an infield hit. 4th hit of the night for the Rockies. Tying run aboard to start the bottom of the 6th. Boy, that sun is tough. Look at Ryan Spilborghs with the hand up trying to shield. And Prince Fielder, there are the fans in that area behind first base.
Sunglass salesman had a good day before this game. Went right down the first base line. You need him over there.
It's the only spot in the ballpark where there's sun. One 1-0 on Brad, who was 0 for 2.
You see where Brad's done a little bit of this damage in this ballpark. And again, last night a couple of hits came on balls down here on the lower half, but obviously likes to extend on the ball in the middle.
Amika, it's not how you're covered, it's how you're treated.
Hop with 24 career hits versus Milwaukee. 17 of those 24 are for extra base hits. 9 of them are home runs. 8 doubles.
2 of those doubles last night. Rockies would certainly take a double here from Brad. Or one of those long balls. 2 balls and a strike, the count.
Their bullpen starting to throw. Gallardo with 100 pitches in the ball game now. Villanueva, the right-hander, starting to get it loose. Works in a long relief for Ken Maka.
Two and 2 on Brad. He's not a happy camper as he tapped that changeup foul. Brad says, I don't worry about the homers, they come, and they generally seem to come in bunches. He has only 4 this year so far. Hasn't hit a long ball since May 25th. Good block by Lucroy.
Yeah, Prince Fielder's got both hands up saying, don't throw it this way. Regardless of where that sun's at, it's difficult on him right now, wherever it's coming from. Good, very good job of blocking the baseball because he's trying to spin that breaking ball and get Hop to chase it. He's not going to chase this far out in front of the plate, but fundamentally, anticipation of the ball in the dirt by a catcher really helps a lot. Lucroy did a good job of it with it there.
Sun's still a factor. Spilborghs goes. Strike 3. Throw to second and double play. Jonathan Lucroy cuts down Ryan Spilborghs. 2 away.
Yeah, it's all about exchange, and it was on the breaking ball too. I mean, a little bit of a windup. Good pick at shortstop by Escobar, and it to see Spilborgh's tried to get the lead hand out of the way to prevent from being tagged and let the backhand come around. See on the Hyundai cam, very nice pick, and then see as that hand trying to get it over to the bag, and then as he reached back to get him, he was able to tag the other hand and apply it.
2-6 on the caught stealing if you keep score. Melvin Mora struck out first time up. Plunked on the left elbow in the fourth.
Well, the opposition now 4 of 6. Being caught by LaCroix.
Fielder handles it, and the Rockies are done here in the 6th. 2-1 Milwaukee as we head to the 7th. The Rockies got their run on a ground out after a couple of hits in the first inning. Hop with the RBI. A 2-out RBI single by Alcides Escobar tied the game. And then the difference in the ball game, unfortunately, blame it on Mother Nature. With a man on, Todd Helton couldn't see the throw from Ian Stewart in the sun, and all the way around to score the go-ahead run, Ricky Weeks.
Tough on Todd Helton. I know nobody feels worse than him, but it's not something he could control. Sunglasses, everything was in place for him to be able to make that play. Francis, 12 ground ball outs. That's impressive. Only 1 fly ball out. That was a soft fly ball early in the ball game at third base, and 5 strikeouts for Jeff.
Second run, an unearned run, but it's the difference in the ball game. Lucroy held up. 2-1.
Well, it's a great look at Coors Field. It's an overhead sky cam that we have locked off on home plate. It tells you. Umpires use that guide. You've seen me talk about it a lot, that if the hands of the bat progresses beyond that, there's the shot we give you. He never gets tired. Takes that same shot every day with the ball.
I'm just amazed how you can get up there and angle that camera and then get back downstairs.
It's that little box up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just hang on to it.
Lucroy, Gomez, and Escobar. Lucroy scored the first run. He's got 2 hits. You know, we talked about it last night. Greg Zahn, surgery done, perhaps done with his career. George Kateris has been primarily a backup catcher. They had a catcher at AAA who decided he didn't want to be a catcher anymore. Now trying to make it as an outfielder, and Lucroy's been the beneficiary.
Well, maybe he should have thought twice. This ball's going to get dumped into the gap. And Spilborgh's, man, did he cut that off in a hurry? You're not going to prevent the double. But exhibited great range in the outfield and getting a break on the ball.
A 3-for-3 night for Jonathan Lucroy. First big league double. First 3-hit game of his career.
Swinging the bat well. You can see fight this pitch off. And Spilly takes a very good route to the baseball. Able to stop his momentum. Turn and fire a strike into Clip Armas at second base.
Well, a base hit up the middle. A base hit the opposite way. And a double to right center. Taking the right approach against Jeff Francis compared to some of his teammates. We're going to get more Rockies bullpen activity.
Probably going to be Matt Belisle again with this heavy right-handed hitting lineup that they have.
Gomez puts the bunt down. Stewart's throw to Herrera in time, but Lucroy moves to third on the 5-4 sacrifice.
With nobody out and a runner at third at the sixth, all Jeff Francis did was strike out fielder, strike out Braun, and then a ground ball to third base. Well, he's kind of got caught in that similar position again. And he's going to have to work out of this with one out and a runner at third base. Stu able to make the play on the ball over to first base to Johnny Herrera.
Escobar had the RBI hit in the 5th inning. Left-handed hitting Joe Inglet is in the on-deck circle to pinch hit for Gallardo.
Well, that's all he has on the bench is left-handers. There's not any right-handers over there. Council's the main guy they go to late in ball games. He had a double last night.
Good breaking ball by Jeff for strike one, and Randy Florez will join Matt Belisle. We're in the 7th. Brewers have scored in the 5th and 6th innings. That's Joe Inglet in the on-deck circle. Rockies got their run in the 1st. They've been limited to 4 hits by Giovanni Gallardo. One ball and 1 strike. The Brewers right-hander has thrown 105 pitches, so I mean he was nearing the end of the line anyway.
He had. I mean he got extended pretty good in a couple of innings and was not going to be able to recover. The most pitches thrown this year in a ball game, 121. That was a 9-inning complete game shutout of the Mets.
Francis eyeing Lucroy down the line at third. Escobar's RBI single went right back up the middle past Jeff Francis in the 5th inning. His other at bat was a grounder at Barmes at short.
Kimbaca, not somebody typically that will squeeze. Not on that one. It's out of the reach of Ian Stewart.
And with Escobar's speed, he's going to get a stand-up double. Infield in, little looping soft liner, a pair of doubles here in the inning, and the Brewers have a 2-run lead. Boy, Escobar continuing to be productive in run-producing situations. Boy, at normal depth, this is an out.
Yeah, no question. That bad playing, even with the bag, didn't have a shot at it. Escobar now hitting 300 with runners in scoring position.
50 points higher than his overall batting average. Inglet has been announced as the pinch hitter.
Buying time on the mound right now for Olivo talking with Jeff Francis. Middle infield's going to walk in a little bit of how they may try to play this with one out. Jim Tracy trying to get a little bit of time to make sure Florez is ready to come in and face Inglet before he would make that move. He's just waiting on the phone call.
Particularly with the runner at second base. That had just been a single. Now here comes Jim, and he does want Randy Florez. So Jeff Francis has pitched well tonight, but here in the 7th, back-to-back or a pair of doubles has given Milwaukee a 2-run advantage. We'll tell you about Randy Florez as the Rockies bullpen tries to keep it close. 3-1 Brewers here in the 7th. Easy, available to anyone. Test drive it today. One more with the Brewers tomorrow. And the Big Bop and Bo Sox come to town. And the Rockies go back out for a 6-game trip to Los Angeles, actually Anaheim, and then San Diego. Call of the Bullpen brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST.
Randy Florez comes into this ball game where he's done a nice job of inherited runners. Florez 1-0 on the season, 307 average, making his 307 earned run average, I should say. 28th appearance for Mr. Florez. Just 14 2/3. A left-handed specialist. He's here for this purpose, to get this left-hander England out of there. They've never faced each other in their career. Advantage Florez.
Rockies got him last night. He's 9 for 27 as a pinch hitter this season. One and 0 on England. That runner at second base, Escobar, remains the responsibility of Jeff Francis.
Good slider.
1-1. Rockies outfield. Mora in left, and Spielborgs in center are a little shallower and pulled towards left. Big gap in right center between Spielborgs and the right fielder Brad Hopp. One and two.
Evident as that last night did not have the ability to hit the slider there either.
Update, marched out.
Little strategy, guys. I see Seth Smith getting ready. You would think that if they have to make another pitching change, a double move, he'll go into left field. Mora made the last out, and that way they can kind of switch things up. So he's getting ready on the bench, as you see.
Yeah, the only one left-hander left over there in their lineup that you're concerned with is Fielder. Everybody else right-handed. Talking about Weeks, Hart, Braun, and Casey McGee.
Carlos Gonzalez, a little
still not ready to go 100%.
Contusion in that knee, feeling better, but not ready yet. Melvin Mora coming on. First time a ball's been hit Melvin's way, and Inglet's retired for the second out. Escobar holds at second base.
I think you'd see Jim Tracy pop out and make that other move as he normally does with his bullpen. Great work by Mark Stout. Heads up, he'll go out. Seth Smith will go to left. He'll hit in the 9-hole.
So Matt Belisle will come on to pitch. Seth Smith into the ball game in left field. 3-1 Milwaukee here in the 7th. Scoring position for Ricky Weeks. Seth Smith into the ball game in left. He'll bat in the number 9 spot, and Matt Belisle on the bump.
Well, Matt Bilal's going to come in. He got to get this tough out. There's 2 outs, and going to probably go about an inning in the 3rd unless the offense gets happy here in the bottom of the 7th inning. He's going to work a little space, making his 30th appearance. See inherited runners. He normally starts the inning. He normally doesn't inherit a lot of runners. So you do see the ability for strikeouts. 41 innings pitched, 44 strikeouts, and just 10 walks. Done a nice job out of the bullpen. Weeks 4 for 13 in his career off Bilal.
Looks at a first pitch strike. Weeks led off last inning with a single and then scored when the ground ball off the bat of Corey Hart towards Ian Stewart. Thrown over to Todd Helton, and Todd couldn't see it because of the sun. Went off his glove, rolled up the foul territory on the first base side. Strike 2 with a little more gas. 0-2 on Weeks. Maybe the Rockies will benefit from the removal of Gallardo. We'll see. It's a reconstituted Brewers bullpen with some injuries.
562 earned run average out of their bullpen. It has not been pretty. They're 15th in the National League. Arizona is 16th with a 719 earned run average. They'll try to mix match it till they get to Axford, I would think, to close the thing out. Braddock's the left-hander. Saw him last night. Did a pretty nice job.
And Villanueva, the right-hander. Not hit hard. Hop coming in.
Oh, what an effort by Brad Hop.
4-1 Milwaukee.
You got to respect the power of Ricky Weeks, so you're going to play it a little bit deeper. Pitch made by Bilal right where he wanted, off the end of the bat. Not much flight on the baseball, and Hop's coming flying in, and he dives to make the catch, and the impact on the ground causes the ball to jar loose out of the glove. A tough play out in the middle of no man's land, and Hop will tell you, man, he wished he would have hung on to this thing, but the impact of hitting the ground, his glove bending over, and it just kind of, the momentum flipped it out of the glove.
3rd double of the inning. The Rockies have had some tough luck tonight. Corey Hart with a big hack for strike 1 on the foul ball. You had the 1-run score because of the sun. 2 of the doubles in this inning under normal circumstances are caught. And that's what makes baseball interesting, maddening at times, delightful at others. That run is charged to Francis. And an important run for the Brewers with a little extra cushion. Now you have to build on a rally. Rockies still have 9 outs left, but it's not like get a man on and you've got the potential tying run at the plate.
Rockies will have Ian Stewart, Miguel Olivo, Clint Barmas, and if it continues, Seth Smith.
Couple of 2-out RBI hits for the Brewers here in the 7th. Bilal and Olivo can't agree.
And it may be the not so much pitch selection as it be maybe where they want the pitch, inside or out. Wow, maybe a little more comfortable taking the ball away from him. Fastball in and ran back in. That wasn't the idea that they had in the beginning where the signs were given.
We talked about it earlier in the broadcast. Get frustrated on the ground balls that you thought were pretty good pitches, but they find holes. And same situation here for Matt Bilal. You make a good pitch and it ends up being a bloop double.
They're born out into no man's land.
Got him to end the inning. But the Rockies are down 3 now as the Brewers put on 2 here in the 7th. 4-1 Milwaukee. Brought to you by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. 303-571-1114. Call and ask about our hometown sports package. Big brothers, big sisters, be big and donate your car. You get a free tow, a tax break. You'll help change a kid's life. And by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. Rockies down 3 now as big right-hander Carlos Villanueva comes on.
Yeah, the big right-hander making his 34th appearance, 46 punch-outs. He could do that. He doesn't walk many, only a couple of home runs given up. You'll have to beat him with the line drives. He's done a nice job. Look at opponent's average, just 218. A fastball to the range, 87 to 93 miles an hour. Sink cut to it. A very, very good changeup that he will feature.
Gallardo goes 6 innings, a run on 4 hits and 9 strikeouts. Also hit a man. 1 ball, 1 strike on Ian Stewart, who struck out against Gallardo and also popped up to the second baseman.
To tell you how effective Villanueva has been, he got 4 runs in 2/3 of an inning back on April the 11th against the Atlanta Braves. Since that span, the other 32 appearances, he's had an earned run average of 234. Been very effective.
For Gallardo, how about this, George? 19 strikeouts in his last 12 innings.
Yeah, he's been very impressive.
Stewart trying to start something here. Boy, Ian did not like Larry Vanover's call there.
It's a little bit inside at 90 miles an hour. It's kind of that late tail running fastball. And a lot of it, those strikes that get called, you should give credit to LaCroix, the catcher. Now he receives it, positioning of the body. They're going back inside again. Oh, Yacker. Man, 84 miles an hour. That was a downer, folks.
This Sunday on Rockies Weekly at 10, we'll talk to manager Jim Tracy about losing his star shortstop and how that's going to impact on the lineup. We'll also head down I-25 to get an update on Dexter Fowler at Colorado Springs. Plus, with Father's Day coming, the Rockies weigh in on the lessons of fatherhood and how it has changed them on and off the field. That's Rockies Weekly tomorrow at 10 p.m. Miguel Olivo backs away, and that's a fastball strike. He thought it was inside. Well, that's how you can be effective. You're shaving.
You are shaving both sides of the plate with movement. Watch LaCroix behind the plate. See, a little short, very much tight, compact. He is behind the plate. You give that's kind of a sign. I mean, you're looking back there, that kind of a target just makes it a lot better for a pitcher because you're not looking at a wide spread out catcher. You're looking at a very tight, compact. Now that pitch, nobody on base. I know that obviously Olivo didn't swing at it. Umpires appreciate that. The catchers don't wave at it with that mitt and just try to spin it off the mitt and pick it. Usually ends up in the umpire's forum. Fastball in. They went in there earlier. Kind of waving off. All right, gonna go slider. Go slider. Young catchers.
And the slider is belted. Is it enough? It is. Touch of all time for Miguel Olivo. The Rockies comeback takes its first step. It's now 4-2 Milwaukee.
The 9th home run for Miguel Olivo on a hanging slider. The 3rd home run Villanueva has given up this year. Took advantage of this slider. You'll see in the strike zone, the forward zone, it just hung. At 82 miles an hour, Olivo kept everything back, generated that back speed with a lot of that back leg drive. That thing's just squared up. You could see on the Hyundai cam, McCoy closed his eyes. He wasn't the only one closing his eyes when it left the bat, hoping it'd stay in the yard.
When Barmas follows with a ground ball, fielded by Weeks, but no chance to get Barmy. Couple of hits. Now you've got the tying run on base for Seth Smith. Miguel Olivo with 7 of his 9 homers now here at Coors Field.
Again, fastball they're trying to ride in. Clint really got his hands inside the baseball. Watch, everything's going to drop so he could get that ball back up the middle. If he tries to extend and get his hands away from the body, more than likely it's a ground ball to shortstop, not up the middle.
Seth Smith batting for the first time in the ball game, came on in a double switch. 1 0 for 4 starting in left field last night. They've got the left-hander Braddock. And
a little surprised if he's ready that they didn't go to him. It's a 4-2 ball game. Left-handed here, then Herrera switched, and then you have Helton left-handed.
Well, you talked about the curve, the breaking pitch, and the changeup of Villanueva, and that was part of the reason Seth was not in the lineup against Gallardo, who was probably a pitcher of the same type as Villanueva.
Yeah, only 2 jacked, and the difference between the two, a little more fastball velocity than makes it harder to hit with Gallardo.
Technically not a pinch hit because he came in as a replacement in the double switch, but Seth, ever since he's put on a Rockies uniform, one of those guys who in the late innings as a pinch hitter or just in the lineup seems to be extra productive. And like Miguel Olivo, Smith has really enjoyed Coors Field. 7 of his 9 homers and all but 10 of his 28 RBIs have been here at home. And he just tied up the ball game. High and deep to the second deck. Touch of overtime for Smitty. It's a brand new ball game.
Now that's the magic of managing your bench as a manager, to put your players in a position of success and not failure. As quickly as this game got to 4 runs for the Brewers, it disappeared with just 4 batters of the Rockies. Home run, base hit, home run. Here's the pitch by pitch. A curveball for a strike, then into the dirt with a changeup at 81 miles an hour. Tried to go fastball in at 90. And oh, that old familiar sound for Seth Smith and the high fives of Jim Tracy.
And in the words of our dear friend Jerry Coleman with the Padres, oh, doctor, a new ball game.
One more to look at that swing on a fastball. All you could hope for there is it stayed fair. And it did.
Into the second deck. Home run number 10 for Smitty. Now Johnny Herrera, a couple of hits on the night. Called out on strikes last time up. And he'll have a 3-hit ball game. Broke his bat, but he'll take it.
You got to think at some time Ken Maka's got to go get the left-hander. He's continued to let this right-hander stay in the game after 2 home runs. Here comes Maka. He popped out of the dugout. Not happy at all with the results he's getting, and he will go to the left-hander.
Now Rockies' resilient performance again tonight, led by Seth Smith and Miguel Olivo. Pitching change here in the 7th. We're tied at 4. Don't go anywhere. him all time for Seth Smith to make it a brand new ball game, because Jeff Francis certainly did not deserve an L tonight, and his teammates have picked him up.
They have picked him up, and they picked him up in a huge fashion. Two of the big heroes for the Rockies there. You see Giambi and Smith. Giambi's a lot of big home runs a year ago. This year it's Smitty's turn. Appearance 11 now for Zach Braddock, the left-hander. 9 in the third innings, 13 hits given up. He strikes out a lot. He doesn't walk many. He's got a tough spot here. He's got Helton's billboards. Then he will have his shot at Mr. Brad Huff. You know, I tell you, folks, as a reliever, you come in with a 3-run lead, and the next thing you know, things are tied up. And the only friend you got is yourself. It's the most difficult thing to face your teammates when you blow a lead late in the ball game.
Braddock had a perfect 8th inning last night. Todd Helton 1 for 3 on the evening. Go-ahead run, Johnny Herrera at first base with 1 out here in the 7th. Look out, Todd.
Hard slider there, cutter. Threw right at Todd and then had a late break to it. That's why Helton ducked. Braddock, 91 to 94 mile an hour fastball. Hard slider, 82, 86. His fastball runs to both sides of the plate. A very short, tight slider.
93 on that fastball. 1-1 the count on Helton. That single was in the first inning. He lined out to Gomez in left center in the third. Called out on strikes, and a great curveball from Gallardo in the 5th. 4-4 in the 7th. Just got a piece of a big curveball.
Trying to stay back as much as he can on this pitch and go down and get it, but it had such good velocity and break and angle away from Helton. Being in the back of that box, a lot of times that hard snap on the breaking ball, hard to get to.
Yeah, almost like a slurve there, George.
Throw it at him, and then 2 breaks, not flattening around. It's more down and away.
He set up away again and got him.
A good high fastball at 95. It's all set up by the breaking ball. This is one of the better young arms that went after Mr. Helton.
Rockies have activity in their bullpen. Rafael Betancourt, who got the 2 big outs in the 8th inning yesterday. Looks like he'll come on in the 8th inning tonight. Ryan Spilborgh's 1 for 3 on the night. 8 hits for the Rockies, 3 of them for that guy leading away from first base, John Herrera. We have seen the good throwing arm of Lucroy, so not likely that Herrera would run here.
4 of 6 would-be base stealers have been thrown out by Lucroy, excuse me. Left-hander on the mound. Whole thing's a little tighter. A couple of outs already on the board.
2-0 on Spilly. Spilborghs was, excuse me, George. Spilborghs was the guy thrown out trying to steal tonight against Lucroy.
Scouting report on Braddock is he's not afraid to throw the ball in on right hand.
Three balls and no strikes on Spilborghs. You've got another lefty, of course, on deck with Brad Hopp, and one would suspect then Braddock is not going to give in here. And I don't think Ryan will either. He's not apt to chase a pitch here. He's only looking in one area for a mistake. And he saw it, but couldn't connect.
Yeah, I got that fastball up in the strike zone. And why not take a shot at it? Because the ball up in the zone, you get a little airborne lift on it. That was just above the belt line.
Braddock filling the role of Mitch Stetter, who had been their left-hand setup man. He's on the DL right now.
Yeah, last night he made a rehab appearance against Oklahoma City. Jim Tracy's son Chad hit his 11th off of it.
Yeah, Proud Papa said he only hit it about 420, they said.
Yeah, they weren't going to catch it. In the city, his other son Mark starting his career in Tri-Cities, the Rocky organization, as his 22nd round draft pick.
3-1 to Spilborghs. A good change of pace.
I mean, how do you anticipate
Wow.
that as a hitter? I mean, he's showing you a fastball in 94, 95, and then on a 3-1 count, he comes with this. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's just a hard slider that has very good tight tilt down, but you're trying to anticipate a 95-mile-an-hour heater, and then you get that.
So I said the change of pace, that was 17 miles an hour different. And got him on a backdoor breaking ball. But the Rockies got to the Brewers with a pair of homers. Miguel Olivo got it started. Seth Smith tied it. We're on to the 8th. Institute in Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. Neither starting pitcher will get a decision on this one. Rockies with a 3-run bottom of the 7th inning after the Brewers had put 2 on the board in the top of the frame. Deadlocked at 4. Matt Belisle, who finished off the 7th, starts the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Prince Fielder. Fielder 0 for 3 tonight. Double play, a grounder to short on the right side of the diamond where Clint Barmas is again, and then struck out by Jeff Francis in the 6th inning. That was a great stretch in the 6th by Jeff. Belisle started and says, let me think about this.
Yeah, not a bad way to do it either. Fielder 4 for 10 in his career versus Matt Belisle. But a lot of that history for Belisle was when he was with the Cincinnati Reds. It's not the history of the way he's thrown the last couple of years. Hey, follow the Rockies on your phone with MLB.com at bat, featuring highlights and a whole lot more. Morales down throwing for the Rockies in a left-handed situation. 39,192 showed up tonight at the yard.
Rockies over 1 million on the season now. Full count on Fielder. the defensive strategy going the opposite way. But as you talked earlier, George, it's about where you throw your pitch for that defense.
A smile on Prince's face after this hit. See the whole right side over here covered from Barmas to Helton. The only one on the left side, Ian Stewart. He sliced this thing beyond where nobody was playing.
10th hit of the ball game for the Brewers. You see Franklin Morales up in the bullpen now.
One person covered 90 feet. It's a little tough to do. Franklin did a nice job coming in and facing the left-handers. He's going to start to minimize his pitch count per inning.
We're on 0 for 3 on the night. And didn't like Larry Vanover's call. Either that, I don't know if it, excuse me, Joe, I don't know if he didn't like the call or he didn't like they didn't swing at it. Yeah, sometimes that's the body language too. You know, and umpires recognize hitters that get into that mode. This could be another 2. Rockies without Tulo for a while with that fractured wrist, but they have not missed a beat on the infield. Two guys, very quick hands, shortstop type arms, and good range from both positions here. Barmas with a very good feed, a long feed, but sped it up. And then a very nice throw, hard throw over to first base to Todd Helton. 8 assists in the ball game for Clint. The record, Juan Uribe with 12. That shortstop. Yeah, that's who was pitching that day. You know, you're going to have Doug help you with that. I don't have the answer to that. But he will. That was before I got here. 2001, or is that a 3? Oh, then I was here. I can't bail out. Oh, it was a 12-inning game. Well, that explains it. So what's the record with 9-inning game? 2 balls to count on Casey McGee with the bases empty. McGee got his hit back in the 5th inning, and he's going to get another hit here in the 8th. Here comes Bob Apodaca to talk about how to pitch to Jonathan Lucroy, who's had 3 hits and scored 2 of the runs tonight for the Brewers. Who wants tacos? Well, fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs, you just have to do this to get in on the Rockies taco special. Text the keyword taco to 95323. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Rockies with a 4 spot on the board tonight, so your taco chances are still alive. A brief strategy session. Lucroy has hit 3 balls to the big part of the yard. As his hitting coach Dale Swaim, real proud of him. Has scored in the 5th and in the 7th. Ball 1. Rockies will have Hop, the pitcher's spot, and Stewart in the bottom of the 8th, and looks like it'll still be Mr. Braddock. I don't see any activity out there on the Milwaukee side. We'll see. Yeah, it hadn't been anybody but him, and you know, you're thinking that soft one hit the Barmas. This could be his 9th. It will be. He got it. Well, good play by Clint on a tough chance. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Clint Barmas All-star experience compliments of Scott's. The nasty left-hander Zach Braddock will start the 8th inning with the possibility of facing at least 2, if not 3 left-handers, as the righty David Riskey loosens in the Milwaukee pen.
Into a scoreless inning last night against the Rockies.
Rockies closer Manuel Corpus up to work the ninth, whether it'll be a tie or a Rockies lead. '22-year-old Zach Braddock. Tough last inning on the lefties, and he starts Brad Hop off with a strike. Brad 0 for 3 tonight.
Very good hard slider. He works it down and away in the zone. Had the velocity at 95. Pretty good mix.
Chris Nelson is on deck to pinch hit for Matt Belisle. Hop able to check his swing? Yes, he did. Down at third base. Mark Carlson said he held up.
18th round draft pick of the Brewers in 2005. That's a pretty good one to pull out of your hat.
Well, and a guy who, George talked about him last night, he had Tommy John surgery in high school.
A lot of people back away from that depending on who the surgeon is. You know, did he show some velocity coming out of it?
1-1 pitch. Good velocity there. 1-2.
When they show this kind of velocity coming back, you'll see a lot of times they'll rush them to the big leagues. And last year he pitched very well in the Florida State League, then Double-A in Huntsville, and then here he is in 2010 after spending a short time in Triple-A. Here he is in the big leagues.
As we mentioned, got the chance because of the injury to Mitch Stetter. The way he has performed so far, at least against the Rockies anyway, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Tough to get that job back.
Pretty well hit to right center field on the run. Brad Hop with his 3rd double in the series. The Rockies put the go-ahead run into scoring position to start the 8th.
Now Chris Nelson going to get his first at bat. How about this with a runner at second base as he came off the bench. Hanging slider. Hop let the back foot drop. Watch the step forward. The back foot goes behind to kind of clear it, help get to the baseball. And then it's all that upper body strength of Brad Hop out over the head of Gomez, who can really run. Really catch up on this baseball, but not before Brad Hop slides into second base.
Brad with 15 two-baggers now. Tied for second on the club with Clint Barmas, 2 behind Troy Tulowitzki. Those are the numbers for Chris Nelson at Colorado Springs.
Good numbers, showing a little power. He was in extended spring for a while as the injuries had mounted up on Mr. Nelson. The first time that he's felt healthy in a while. Excited to try to make the difference.
He becomes the 10th first-round pick in the 19 drafts in which the Rockies have participated to make a big league appearance with the Rockies. They're squeezing in on the corners. Nelson hasn't shown bunt yet. Now he does. And the pitch is high from Braddock.
You'd have to think that, don't know the last time that Nashville had played Colorado Springs in the Pacific Coast League. Maybe there's some history in the minor leagues between Nelson and Braddock this year.
Chris has good speed in addition to the good bat speed. He takes a borderline strike with a backdoor curveball.
Brent's fielder, a lot like Todd Helton. He's charging hard from that first base side. Breaking ball that does catch the bottom half. There you see Brent's come flying in. He's already cheated most of the way in. Good athlete on the mound. Try to cut his corners defensively.
Escobar trying to shorten up Hop. And the bunt is to Braddock. He looks to third, and it's not in time. He hesitated, and he lost. Chris Nelson gets the bunt down. And the Rockies have men on the corners with nobody out.
You want to get to first any way you can, have an impact on a game. Nelson's going to have that. Bunted hard out to the mound. Brady got it. He spun awkwardly through to third. Saved by McGee as it short hop. Then Hop got there. In a very good position of bunting the baseball. Nelson got up the line. No throw over there. Hop's going to be safe. And a chance for the Rockies to put one up here and win this ball game.
That's a sacrifice and a fielder's choice. As Chris Nelson pushes Hop to third, and now Ian Stewart, who didn't fare well against Gallardo, struck out against Villanueva, now facing Braddock, lefty against lefty. Rockies had a 1-0 lead. The Brewers tied it in the 5th, got an unearned run in the 6th, and scored 2 in the 7th to move the advantage to 4-1. But a Miguel Olivo solo homer with 1 out last inning. A Clint Barmas single that preceded Seth Smith's 2-run homer to tie up the game in the 7th inning. And now the Rockies with men on the corners and nobody out here in the 8th. Here's another Colorado Lottery replay for you. Let's look at the Miguel Olivo homer. A hanger. And as I like to say here, George, it's Miggy time. You can catch another great replay with the Colorado Lottery now through June 30th. You can replay any of your non-winning Colorado Lottery scratch tickets and a second chance drawing at coloradolottery.com.
Stewart 262 average, Lowe the right-hander. Cameron Lowe getting loose as quickly as he can with Olivo in the on-deck circle.
Larry Vanover hustling Rick Peterson off the mound and back into the dugout. Brewers have the infield in at third and halfway at second and short. Fielder holding Nelson on over at first. 1 ball and 1 strike. We've seen velocity up and breaking balls down from Zach Braddock.
Yeah, and if a ball's hit on the ground in this infield to that right side, Stu, I mean, it's got to be quick. Brad has to get a pretty good jump. McGee even with the bag at third.
Now Escobar has come in a little closer at short. Weeks still holding back a little bit. Not all the way in, but pretty darn close.
Another hard slider at 84 miles an hour, but this one down in the zone.
2 balls and a strike.
There's 2 pitches in a row. They've gone to the breaking ball. See what they do here again. Helton was struck out with a fastball, and it was up. And going fastball here, and they want it on the inside half of the plate.
The 2-1. Missed on the outside part of the plate.
Part of that running fastball that he shows at 93 miles an hour. I mean, this ball wasn't that bad a pitch. It was more of where LaCroix set up inside, and it runs right on that outside corner. Hitters count 3-1. Fastball count typically.
Braddock fires. Stewart holds up. And that's ball 4. It loads them up for Miguel Olivo.
Pitch not anywhere close, and he didn't go around on it either. Everything held up tight. Ken Maka's got to make another move. He's going to risky in the bullpen. He was warming up. He is a sinker slider guy. He's not going to overpower you. You're going to put the ball in play. He will throw strikes. I think that's why Maka is going to him, is the chance to turn the double play.
Bases full of Rockies. Miguel Olivo started the rally. Can he continue it against Cameron Lowe? Home phone service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Burger King. Home of the Whopper. And by Colorado Hyundai. Get more style, more MPG, and more value at your Colorado Hyundai dealers today. Brad Hoppen third. Chris Nelson, the runner at second. Ian Stewart at first. Nobody out here in the 8th inning, and it's Cameron Lowe, George, rather than David Risky.
Yeah, maybe trying to come in a little more power. He's thrown in a lot of ball games. The big league level, mostly with Texas, was in Japan a year ago. This big guy, 6'8", coming into the ball game. Throwing in 114 big league ball games. Very good earned run average. He's very consistent with getting first batter out. Obviously, hasn't been exposed a lot.
Miguel Olivo hit a home run last inning, and he lines it to right field. Hop comes on. Hop is going to have to hold at third. Well, Olivo just hit it too hard.
He did hit it too hard. 0 for 6 now for Olivo, but not because of effort. I mean, that ball was flat smoked to right field. Line drive. Hart's going to charge in on it and catch the baseball. That held everybody up regardless of the speed. The ball hit too hard. The Rockies 209 with the bases loaded.
Without a grand slam this year. And it looks like this is the moment for Jim Tracy. He's going to pull Clint Barnes and have Jason Giambi try and deliver a go-ahead run.
Well, he can go ahead and put Nelson, who's already into the ball game, at shortstop defensively in the 9th inning. Giambi can come through as a pinch hitter.
On the year, Giambi hitting 188, a couple of homers, 10 runs batted in, but just 1 for 13 as a pinch hitter, but good numbers in brief time against Cameron Lowe.
2 for 4 with a home run.
Jim Tracy has those numbers in the dugout.
Well, you wondered why Giambi looks like he's been sitting in a sauna when he walks to the plate, folks. He's been up there hitting for about 2 innings in the cage off of the machine. They have a gentleman up underneath that throws live batting practice up underneath in the cages, and that helps these guys stay loose. A left-hander and a right-hander, so this situation sets up good for Giambi. Just get it airborne and get it deep enough and high enough to allow Hop to try to tag up.
Brewers looking into the dugout to see how they want to set up the infield.
You got to go. You have to take your middle back tight on the corner.
And well off the line at third is McGee.
I think Prince can play deep at first because not a lot because of Hop at third base. Ball's good if it's hit hard right at you. You've got to play at the plate.
Jason broke the bat. Now, one of the puzzling things, the Rockies very efficient with the bases loaded a year ago, and it has been a sore spot this year. Hard to believe in this their 68th game that they have yet to hit a grand slam.
And their average nearing 200 with the bases loaded. That is astounding for me.
4-4 here in the bottom of the 8th. A little high.
A 1-1 count now, even though the fourth strike zone says this caught the tip of it. They held it. Didn't happen in Vanover's mind.
Roy sets up inside. Giambi tried to check his swing and couldn't. That's strike two.
Vanover's one. I mean, Giambi's, you calling that on me or did you ask for it? He called it on his own behind the plate. I feel in crucial situations, unless you're 100% as an umpire, ask for help. Well, that's pretty obvious. Here's your line. The bat ended up out here. You can see why Vanover made the call.
Okay, so we've seen fastball up, breaking ball there.
I think another breaking ball in the dirt. I just don't think he wants to throw him the fastball. Giambi's such a good fastball hitter.
Whoa, fastball nearly threw it away.
At 92 with some big time movement on the pitch.
Nearly took the glove off of Lucroy.
Yeah, had funny kind of movement on the pitch.
Rockies trying to rally, something that has been tough for them in the late innings. They have come back to tie it in the 7th, trying to take the lead here in the 8th. The 2-2. In the air to shallow left. Braun settles under it. Hop's going to go. The throw to the plate is not in time. It took a funny bounce. It kind of hit the back of Brad Hop, and the Rockies are up 5-4.
Yeah, I mean, again, this ball's not hit very deep, but they test the arm of Braun, and an RBI, pinch RBI for Jason Giambi. With a 2-strike count on him, Giambi able to hit this ball deep enough with his strength to left field. What benefited this is where Braun caught the ball over close to the line. So as the throw comes in, if you don't get it inside and let the ball tail back, it's going to catch the runner. And that is exactly what happened. It hit on that grass area and caught the behind of Pop. Giambi fired up that run came across because it's as a pinch hitter, that's what you're there. Particularly a guy like Giambi to win games like a closer coming out of the bullpen.
He gets the Rockies the lead. Here's Seth Smith. He got the Rockies the tie with a second deck. 2-run homer. Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast for Seth last inning. Another bop here, and the Rockies have some breathing room. Good breaking ball by Lowe, and the count is 1-1. Brewers will have Gomez, Escobar, and the pitcher's spot due in the 9th. One ball, 2 strikes now after the little chop.
How about the base hit by Hop to get this thing going off of the left-hander, throwing 95 and hard breaking ball down and away. Finished up by that left-handed hitting Giambi with the fly ball to left.
Now it'll be up to Manuel Corpus to bring it home. Chris Nelson, who had the good bunt in the inning, will stay in the game to play on the infield. He's out there at second base, hoping he can scamper home with another run. Hit towards Brown in left field. He plays it on the bounce. Nelson coming to the plate for Seth, and he knocked the ball away. He scores. Here comes Stewart. He scores. On to third goes Seth Smith. How do you like the kid? He laid out Lucroy. 7-4 Rockies. Welcome to the big leagues, Chris Nelson.
All about a hustle play. A very good throw by Braun, right on the money. Reynolds talking to him now. Get your thoughts together. You got to go to shortstop. Here it is. Sinker down and away, and it's sliced by Seth Smith into left field. And off to the races with 2 outs. Here comes the throw in. It's well ahead of Nelson, but he says, He lowers the shoulder into the glove, knocks it away, goes back and tags. Then Stewart scores. The Rockies on top, 7-4.
Boy, that was some contact at the plate.
Oh, yeah, you're going to try to slide back into him and put a tag on him. You can see he just hooked the glove and the shoulder into the body of Lucroy and knocked it loose.
Smith gets credited with 1 RBI. Now 1 ball and 1 strike on Johnny Herrera, who's had 3 hits tonight. And Stewart scores on the play at the plate. And you'd have to charge an error to the catcher, I would guess. He didn't hang on to the ball, just outside the bag at first. And thanks to Chris Nelson's bang bang at the plate, we've got tacos, fans. The Rockies have scored 7 tonight, so don't forget to go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m. to get your Rockies Tacos special. Now that's a steal. Two and two now on Herrera. I'm guessing. Well, I'm showing that I don't know all the answers, and I do that quite frequently. Do you charge an error to just say it was on the throw that the second guy scores? I don't know. You have to account for him scoring.
You got to figure out some way for it to come in. Braun made 2 pretty good throws there. Both times comes up empty-handed.
They do charge the error to Lucroy.
His first in his big league career.
Ground ball, base hit for Johnny Herrera. Home is Seth Smith. John Herrera gets his first RBI on his first 4-hit game in the big leagues.
You can smile, Johnny. It's a good night, pal. Continue to try to go inside. This fastball ran away in the top of the zone at 92. And it just squeaks in between fielder and Weeks into the outfield. And it allows the run to come around to score. And Helton's getting the hit again here.
And that one is foul up the first base side. Todd has one of the Rockies' 11 hits tonight. An 8-4 advantage.
7 runs scored for the Rockies in the 7th and 8th inning. We're waiting on that kind of a outburst in a while.
And did it on a 1-ball, 2-strike count as well. Another good sign for John. Well, you and I talked off the air yesterday, George, about the whole idea, and we did talk with Jim Tracy about it, that, you know, in the circumstances when you lose your leader, how does your club respond? And the Rockies in the first 2 nights without Tulo, pretty well hit by Todd, not quite enough right at the track. But the Rockies with a 4-run 8th inning, way ahead to the 9th, 8-4 Colorado. Hands the desk for all of that activity. What do you got, Tommy?
Coming up after the ball game, we'll be talking about the lead swinger of this band, Jonathan Herrera. 4-hit night, picks up his first Major League RBI. We'll also talk about seventh inning, that big inning for the Rockies that got him back into this ball game. And full Nelson, Chris Nelson delivering. That's not a full Nelson. That's like a chokehold. Full Nelson, you got to come up under the arms. There you go. Chris Nelson scores, buries him at the plate. All that's coming after the game. Plus, we'll teach you the pile driver and the suplex.
Yippee-ki-yay. Look at him go.
John Herrera moves over to shortstop for the ninth inning. And Chris Nelson will play second base.
Manny Corpus will come on and finish this ball game up, and this is kind of a philosophy of Jim. You get a lead, a 4-run lead. It's not a safe situation, but your team fought hard. You want your best out there. Manny last night a 1-2-3 inning, pounded the strike zone. He comes out doing it again at 91.
Carlos Gomez 0 for 2 with a sacrifice.
Manny done a good job in his closer's role. 9 of 11, save opportunities. The innings pitched, the hits, the strikeout.
Up the middle, Herrera. Not quite in time. Probably any other guy on this Brewers roster, you make that play, but Gomez can really run.
Maybe any guy other than hitting from the right side in baseball. Either way, Gomez can get up the line here. High chopper, got to go a little bit deeper behind the bag to get it. And the side throw takes away the velocity on it, and then you got to figure into that speed. It's there, and he gets an infield single.
12th hit of the night for the Brewers. They have had 22 hits in the series, but have scored only 4 runs to this point. Escobar has 2 of their hits tonight and 2 of their RBIs. Manny Corpus delivers strike 1. Manuel in a non-save situation, but important nonetheless in trying to get the Rockies another win.
Team fought too hard. You got to try to leave it out there for the W. The Rockies, by the way, when trailing after the 6th inning, that's kind of what happened tonight. 2-25.
I know.
They turned the corner tonight. Changed that number.
3 in the 7th, 4 in the 8th. But a dangerous Milwaukee team. Craig Counsell on deck to pinch hit for Lowe, the pitcher. Stewart on the backhand. The second for 1. Nelson will hang on to it as Gomez tried to take him out. Probably couldn't have gotten Escobar. And smart play there. Get the lead man, get an out.
Absolutely it is. And that's ball's hit. Even though ball's hit pretty hard to Stewart, he's got to go over to the third base side to the knee, then scooped and the fire over. But you've got speed coming right at you and spikes high. Gomez had him up into the air.
Wow.
And you can see on the Hyundai cam where those spikes and how high they were. That's something a little unusual, but he wasn't going to let Nelson complete that double play ball. Craig Counsell off of the bench to pinch hit. You see his numbers on the year: 4 RBIs, a double, and a .333 average.
If the Rockies and Brewers played more than just a home and home, up the middle, off of Corpus and into the center field area, and that'll allow the runner Escobar to head to third. I was going to say, with the spikes high by Gomez, if you were playing a lot of games, that would have been filed away.
Yeah, that's not something that you forget about, obviously. That spike was very high. Manny Corpus trying to have a kick and a save. Manuel kicked it a little too high. Out of the reach of Chris Nelson as he scoots out into the outfield. Some ground balls for base hits, but they're back up the middle. Get one hit right at somebody and get out of here with 1 out. Let them turn that double play.
Now you flip the lineup now. You're back to the top of the order. Ricky Weeks has singled and doubled tonight and knocked in a run. And a good hitter in the clutch with a batting average above .340 in that regard. Craig Counsell 2 for 2 as a pinch hitter. Todd will take a look, but that's about 10 rows into the crowd. Rockies can gain ground on the Dodgers, on the Giants with a win tonight. 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 called at the knees.
You're going to see a good hard sinker right here, inner half, and enough that it's going to catch enough of the zone to be called a strike.
Mr. Nasty, otherwise known as the reinvigorated slider of Manuel Corpus.
Well, you're not kidding. Manuel put this right where he needed to do it after that hard sinker in. He took that thing to the outside corner, and it's the late action of this pitch. Swung at, that ball 2 inches outside the end of the bat of Ricky Weeks.
Corey Hart, a single. He also reached on the air on the ball lost in the sun on a ground out back in the 6th inning. 1 for 4 on the night. And he hits it a long way to center field. Spielberg's at the wall, and it's a one-run ball game. Corey Hart with his 18th home run of the season. He now has 50 runs batted in.
As much as the Rockies offense, you waited for it to come to life. You knew this offense at some point could come to life with one swing of the bat. Manny had been on such a tremendous run. High ball up. Very high up into the zone, and a tall hitter at the plate. Carries out over the head of Ryan Spielberg's dead center field, 415 feet from home plate. Morales and Betancourt get going in the Rockies bullpen. 18 home runs now for Hart, 24 a career high in 07.
Here are the pitchers George referenced. Corey Hart has hit 15 home runs in the last 33 games. Jim Tracy coming out. I think this is a strategy talk first, because I don't believe that Morales or Betancourt are ready yet. He's kind of waiting to hear from Jim Wright on the phone to Bob Apodaca.
Sometimes instead of waiting around on the phone conference to come in, you look for Jim Wright to throw that hat up into the air. He went ahead and got him. He must have got some signal from somewhere, because Morales will come into the ball game and face Prince Field.
So a pitching change in what has turned into a one-run ball game thanks to that man Corey Hart. Rockies 8, Milwaukee 7. Morales on to close it. Hart has made this a one-run game with 2 outs. First bump in the road in a long time for Manuel Corpus. And it'll be up to Franklin Morales now, facing Prince Fielder in this one-run game.
And the last time Mr. Morales had a save, you have to go all the way back to April 22nd at Washington. This is where he picked up his last save. Left-handers Coming on to face Prince Fielder. You see their run average. The big thing you got to look at is not to walk people. He's walked 11 in his 15-plus innings. He's got to go right at Prince. Prince hit .272 against left-handers. He's 1 for 2 lifetime versus Morales. They'll put the shift on defensively.
He went the opposite way with a base hit in the 8th inning. Ball 1. But I would guess, well, we'll see how it plays out, but I think the big man's looking to try and make a big fly here.
No, absolutely, I think he is. He's got another guy now in deck circle with Braun. That's what you have Bettencourt waiting for. Behind 2-0.
Well, that's, as George said, with Franklin, great stuff. It's the command of those pitches.
Well, if you can't take the skill set in between the lines, the great stuff does you no good. High with that fastball. Good velocity, 94.
A nail biter all of a sudden. And that's ball 4. Now the time runs on. And this crowd of over 39,000, from a lot of joy to a lot of nervousness now. And that'll be the only man Morales faces. It'll be up to Rafael Bettencourt against Ryan Braun. It's been a wild one here tonight. The Rockies looking for that elusive 27th out. Against Rafael Bettencourt.
He comes on to make that 28th appearance. It's been a while since Bettencourt got a save. You have to go back to 2009. It was September the 16th at San Francisco. And that was a big one. This is a big one here against Milwaukee. 23 innings pitched, 29 hits given up, 29 strikeouts though. Last night was brilliant. Let's see him come on to get Braun. You have Braun, then you have McGee. In LaCroix, you have 3 right-handers in a row.
Let's hope we only see Braun.
How about just one? Yeah, one pitch and out of here. A little fly ball and go home.
Brewers were up 4-1. Rockies tied it. One ahead 8-4. With 2 outs in the 9th, Corey Hart hit a 3-run homer off Manuel Corpus. Franklin Morales walked Prince Fielder. So it's up to Bettencourt. Braun 0 for 4 on the night. Outfield about as deep as you can be. Murphy's first pitch. Swing and a miss.
Very good idea with the fastball, and it's a very good location. Outside part of the plate, but down. Try to relive that a little bit. Braun, a very good low ball hitter, but he wants the ball middle half in. Watch the front side, a slightly open stance, trying to pull the baseball.
One ball and one strike. Seth Smith in the left. And Spielborg's way out there in center field. And Brad Hopp close to the track and right as well. Trying to cut balls off that if it's hit towards one of the gaps, you can keep fielder from scoring. Fans on their feet. A tense time here in the night.
Oh, man, they're high-fiving, thinking they're getting out of an inning. Thought they had 2 outs. Let's go to the house. And then one swing of the bat changed some things.
The 1-1. Hit towards right center field. Hop up with the ball. They will hold fielder at third, but it's a double for Braun, and now the tying run and go-ahead runs are in scoring position. The Brewers will not go away.
Fastball away, third one offered by Betancourt, right on the outside part of the plate. Remember, good low ball hitter at 94 miles an hour. Shot this ball out into the gap. A pitcher's pitch, a hitter's reward. It's a pretty nice job of hitting there.
Well, that's why he has been a multi-all-star already. And here's McGee, 2 for 4 on the night, and one of their best late inning hitters throughout the season. And the Rockies appear they're going to take their chances with the rookie Lucroy behind him.
Well, and you can't blame them for that. McGee, 355 average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. You don't take a gamble with that.
Lucroy has 3 hits on the night, but again, Jim Tracy saying you got to play the percentages. McGee's success, you create a force potential at any base. Somebody's going to be awfully disappointed at the end of this one. Certainly want it to be the guys wearing the uniforms with Milwaukee across the front. So Lucroy comes to the plate. 3 hits, 2 singles and a double in 4 tries. He has shown pretty good feel for the strike zone in his early time in the big leagues. He is 15 for 43 to start his career. That's a tick under 350. You see Glenn Allen Hill trying to position his outfielders, and Betancourt gets Lucroy.
Looking at the outfield alignment, I guess they figure the ball over their head, you're going to lose the game anyway. Try to keep a line drive out in front of you.
High ball 1.
Have a play at the plate.
The great magical formula of baseball. Why it had to be 27 outs, and this 27 has been, just as that woman knows, tough to come by. 1 ball, 1 strike as he painted the outside portion of the plate.
And Betancourt talking to himself, firing himself up. He's thrown 9 pitches in this game. Coming right at it. That third strike he's thrown in the game. Only 2 balls, and 4 of those intentionally. Don't really count those.
Thought he threw a pretty good pitch when Braun hit the double.
Yeah, I did too. Fastball rolling away at 94. I'm going to challenge you with the fastball.
The 1-1. Strike 2 at 94. Rafi liked his location there. A small fist pump after he threw that pitch.
And you see this ball going to bite a little bit right at the very end. Lucroy not able to catch up to it. Ball got by him down in the zone. Typically it's up in the zone. 94-mile-an-hour heater from Betancourt. Jim Tracy can just pace as you watch and feel helpless as a manager.
All up to the veteran right-hander on the hill. The 1-2 pitch. Foul to the screen. Staying with the fastball. Again, this crowd of 39,000 plus begging for one more strike or a ball to a fielder for a 27th out. Betancourt ready. Foul to the screen again.
Ford is able to nick that good fastball from Betancourt on the outside corner. A lot of confidence being shown by this youngster. Keeping this at bat alive. Able to foul off 2 nasty fastballs from Betancourt.
Well, you get to the big leagues because you have some ability to hit a fastball. And this youngster hanging in. Fielder, Braun, McGee, the base runners. Betancourt with another 1-2. How did he hit that one?
Man, just keep moving it off the plate every time. And you know, for some way, I don't know how he's doing it. Lucroy is able to make contact. This ball is a good 6 to 8 inches off the home plate area. Yet he's able to slap at it and keep this at bat alive. Man.
That's 3 straight foul balls on excellent pitches from Betancourt.
They're just so tempted to try to come inside with a fastball, but the problem is he's fighting off the outside. He may catch up to the inside. Go with what you feel in your gut feeling to get the best out here. I know this much. They got me out of my chair. I'm standing and watching this one.
Long slide foul ball.
Slider. 84, and it caught a little bit too much of the plate. 8th pitch of this at bat coming on its way.
Did you ever hear nearly 40,000 people hold their breath?
No.
It was a collective.
They are now.
It was a collective inhale.
And gasp.
A veteran reliever and a rookie batting for just the 44th time in the big leagues. It's still 1-2. It's still 8-7. They're set up away again, and he fouls it away again. 5 straight foul balls on 1-2 counts. Now I'm standing too.
And Jimmy, you see all of these pitches to the outside half of the plate. You know, and I'm sure Jim Tracy's saying, well, let's ride one up and in. Yet with the bases loaded, you don't want it to get away from you. All of a sudden you hit a batter, you got a tie ball game.
Yep.
If you're comfortable away, get away. Hey, Mariano Rivera lives on the outside corner. That hard cutter. So, I mean, this is where Ralphie wants to go, and that's where Betancourt wants to stay. Let him stay out there. Make his pitch to get beat. You want to get beat with your best pitch, not your second best pitch.
Especially after Lucroy made good contact on that slider.
Yep, scary a little bit, even though he got out in front of it. He smoked it pretty good to left field. Ah, this one makes it fun, folks.
Makes it the best game there is. Slightly open stance, but he has covered that outside edge.
He fires his hands quick to the zone.
Going outside again. This one might be playable. Helton to the wall, no.
They tried to elevate the fastball that time up. 10th pitch on its way to the plate from Betancourt. He's tried to end it at pitch 4 or 5.
Well, this
kid's kept it alive.
6 straight foul balls. Fielder who walked, doubled to third by Braun. An intentional walk to McGee, and the rookie Jonathan Lucroy waiting for pitch number 10 in this at bat. Towards right field. Brad Hopp is there. I'll tell you what, that kid put on a heck of an at bat, but Rafael Betancourt got it done. Oh, what a ball game tonight. Jason Giambi started the winning rally, and the Rockies make it 2 straight over the Milwaukee Brewers. Here's tonight's delivery of the game, brought to you by Jimmy John's. Seth Smith, a 2-run homer in the 7th inning, RBI single, and Chris Nelson made it better with the bang-bang at the plate as a pair scored and the Rockies needed them. Oh, my. The Rockies win a dramatic game here in Denver. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow, but you don't go anywhere.